Chapter 33-36. The Divine Lord Realm Dark Ape struck out with his fist, causing the void to explode. A terrifying fist pressure instantly enveloped the pirate leader. Divine Lord! The pirate leader screamed in fear, but in the next moment, his body exploded and turned into ashes. Facing a Divine Lord, even a Divine King would be killed instantly. Run! When the pirates saw that the pirate leader had been killed in an instant, even though they were all fugitives, they were almost scared to death. They turned and ran. But how could they escape from the hands of the Dark Ape Battle Tribe? The Dark Ape Battle Tribe members charged forward. Every time they attacked, a large number of interstellar pirates were killed. Lu Ming recorded everything with the Repose Shadow Stone. The Repose Shadow Stone was specially made by the Grand Council. It was very magical and could even identify the level of cultivation. The Repose Shadow Stone could identify the level of cultivation of those who were recorded. This was also to make it easier to record credits. The stronger the enemy he killed, the more contribution he would receive. Soon, almost all the interstellar pirates on the planet were killed. Only a few cats and dogs were left. They fled in panic. Lu Ming and the rest did not bother to care about them. After collecting the storage rings of the interstellar pirates, they entered the nest of the interstellar pirates and found a large number of treasures. There were all kinds of forging materials, alchemy materials, and divine artifacts of various levels. Lu Ming took all of them without hesitation. These would be useful as the number of people increased in the future. After clearing out all the treasures and making sure there was nothing left, they left. In the direction of the galaxy, there was still a fierce battle going on. Let's go take a look, Lu Ming said and flew in that direction with the Dark Ape Battle Tribe. When they got close to the battlefield, they found that the battle cries had weakened. The interstellar pirates were defeated. A large number of interstellar pirates were killed, and the remaining few fled in panic. Then, a group of people rushed over. When they saw Lu Ming, they rushed toward Lu Ming and the rest. There were tens of thousands of them. Lu Ming and the rest only had about 100 people. The difference in numbers was too big. Interstellar pirates, kill them! The leader was a yellow-robed young man who looked to be in his 30s. His gaze was cold as he gave the order. Lu Ming was speechless. These people actually thought that they were interstellar pirates. Whoosh! Whoosh! In the blink of an eye, at least several hundred attacks were launched towards Lu Ming's group. Roar! One of the Dark Ape Battle Tribe members shouted angrily, and took out a huge shield in front of him, blocking all of the attacks. It was mainly because Lu Ming hadn't given the order to attack. Otherwise, the Dark Ape Battle Tribe wouldn't have just defended themselves. They would have counterattacked. Wait a minute, you're from the Taishu dynasty, right? We're also from the Taishu dynasty! Lu Ming shouted loudly, his voice echoing throughout the entire arena. Stop! Hearing that Lu Ming and the others were from the Taishu dynasty, the young man waved his hand, and everyone stopped attacking. Are you from the Taishu dynasty? The young man stared at Lu Ming and the others. That's right, we're from the Taishu dynasty's soldier's mansion. This rest image stone can prove it, Lu Ming said. The young man looked at the rest image stone above Lu Ming's head twice. Obviously, he believed Lu Ming's words. So you're from the other soldier's mansion. That means you've already breached the interstellar pirate's nest? The yellow-robed young man asked. That's right, the interstellar pirate's nest has been breached. We're here to support you, Lu Ming said. Ha ha, support us? What a joke, with just a few of you. Beside the yellow-robed young man, a burly man laughed maniacally, full of contempt. The others laughed as well. That's enough! The yellow-robed young man raised his hand, and everyone stopped laughing. Since you've breached the interstellar pirate's nest, the treasures in the interstellar pirate's nest should be in your hands. Hand them over, and I'll let you leave safely, the yellow-robed young man said. Lu Ming was speechless. Why does this guy seem so confident? We're the ones who breached the interstellar pirate's nest. The pirate's treasures are our spoils of war. Why should we hand them over to you? Lu Ming was speechless. You breached it? How shameless! If I hadn't restrained the main force of the interstellar pirates, would you have had the chance to breach the interstellar pirates' nest? I'm already being lenient by not pursuing the matter of stealing my credit. You want to take the treasures of the interstellar pirates? You're dreaming. If you don't hand them over today, don't leave, the yellow-robed young man said coldly. Lu Ming was completely speechless and almost laughed out loud. This old man was really too confident. Lu Ming sized up the yellow-robed young man and realized that the strongest person beside him was only an eighth heaven divine king. The ones who fought with them were not the main force of the interstellar pirates. There was a peak god king in the lair of the interstellar pirates. If Lu Ming had not rushed in and exterminated the peak god king of the interstellar pirates, the young man in the yellow robe would have suffered heavy losses even if he had not been completely annihilated. Lu Ming had saved them, but in the eyes of the yellow-robed young man, it was Lu Ming who had taken advantage of the situation. I don't have time to waste on you. Let's go! Lu Ming didn't want to waste any more time with the yellow-robed young man and turned to leave. You want to leave? If you don't hand over the treasures today, don't even think about leaving. Take them down. Kill anyone who resists. The yellow-robed young man shouted. Boom! 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 Suddenly, the elites beside the yellow-robed young man unleashed their auras and attacked Lu Ming and the others. You must be tired of living. A few of the Nether Ape Combat Tribe members shouted angrily. Their eyes were filled with cold, killing intent as they stepped forward. These Nether Ape Combat Tribe members were all 8th Heaven Divine Kings. As for the Divine Lords and Peak Divine Kings Nether Ape Combat Tribe members, they stood beside Lu Ming and didn't attack. They didn't even unleash their auras. In their eyes, the yellow-robed young man's group was weak even though they had the advantage in numbers. Stop. Palace Lord, please wait. An old man beside the yellow-robed young man shouted, stopping the others from attacking. The yellow-robed young man's face flashed coldly and he said, Why should we stop? Although they have a few 8th Heaven Divine Kings, we have more than enough people to kill them. Palace Lord, I feel that these people are not to be underestimated. There might be some elites among them. If we fight them, we will suffer heavy losses even if we win. The old man transmitted his voice to the yellow-robed young man. What should we do? Are we going to let them go just like that? The yellow-robed young man frowned. He still felt that they could deal with Lu Ming and the others. He didn't want to let Lu Ming and the others go so easily. Chapter 33-37. The yellow-robed young man didn't want to let Lu Ming and the others go. Although there were a few 8th-layer Divine King realm cultivators among Lu Ming's group, he didn't expect them to be so powerful. However, there were more than 10,000 of them while Lu Ming's group only had a few hundred people. He was confident that he could kill Lu Ming and the others. Mansion Master, these people don't look familiar. They must be new here. Let's wait and find out where they are. Then we'll kill them. At the same time, you can bring the Xianming elders with you, the old man said. The Xianming elders? The yellow-robed young man frowned. That's the only thing we can do now. Let's agree to their conditions and let them help us. With the Xianming elders helping us, we can take revenge for what happened today, the old man suggested with a wise look on his face. The yellow-robed young man thought for a while and finally nodded. All right, we'll listen to you. Then, he looked at Lu Ming and said, Kid, I'll spare your life today. Let's go. Then, he turned around and left. More than 10,000 people followed the yellow-robed young man and disappeared into the starry sky in the blink of an eye. Spare my life? Lu Ming touched his nose and was speechless. They were the ones who saved their lives. Lu Ming guessed that the yellow-robed young man must be one of the geniuses from the previous batch of the Great Void Imperial Family Sacred Courtyard. Maybe he was from before. Lu Ming didn't want to think too much about it, and returned to the Hidden Dragon Star with his men. Lu Ming was right. The yellow-robed young man was one of the geniuses from the Great Void Imperial Family Sacred Courtyard. He was ranked 18th during the last Great Void Imperial Family Sacred Courtyard. His name was Huang Dong, and he wasn't from a famous family. He came from a small force and was considered a commoner among the geniuses. Huang Dong was considered a peerless genius. However, he was ranked 18th and wasn't rewarded with a mansion opening token. However, he was a commoner and was determined to establish a mansion. He cultivated hard in the Great Void imperial family's sacred courtyard and later joined the army. He made contributions and was rewarded with a mansion opening token. After a long time of hard work, even though he was still a soldier, he had accumulated a group of strong cultivators. However, the strongest cultivator under his command was only at the 8th Divine King layer. There was no one at the peak of the Divine King layer. As soon as Huang Dong returned, he sent people to inquire about Lu Ming's whereabouts. Not long after, they finally found out. So, you're on the Hidden Dragon Star. You're new here. Humph! How dare you steal my credit and my treasures? I'll let you know that the Heavenly Chaos Star area is not that easy to survive in, Huang Dong said coldly before flying outside. Not long after, he came to a canyon and saw 3 old men. East Prefecture Lord Huang, what do you think of the conditions we proposed? The bald old man in the middle of the 3 old men smiled faintly. A cold light flashed in his eyes. These 3 old men were called the Xianming 3 Elders. They were rogue cultivators in the Heavenly Chaos Star region. They were extremely powerful as they had all reached the peak Divine King realm. Previously, Huang Dong had wanted to invite the Xianming 3 Elders to join him. However, the Xianming 3 Elders were peak Divine Kings. How could they join a soldier's mansion so easily? After many invitations, the Xianming 3 Elders finally came up with a condition. As long as Huang Dong agreed to it, they would join him. However, the condition was too difficult for Huang Dong. Hence, he had been hesitating and did not agree to it. However, Huang Dong had decided to agree to it now. He needed the Xianming 3 Elders' strength. With the Xianming 3 Elders' help, he could eliminate Lu Ming and expand his forces rapidly to eliminate more pirates. At that time, it would only be a matter of time before he upgraded his mansion to the general's mansion. Otherwise, with his current strength, he did not know how long it would take for him to upgrade his mansion to the general's mansion. All right, I agree to your conditions, Huang Dong said. Great, ha ha ha. Then we'll be your men from now on. I hope we can have a pleasant cooperation in the future. The Xianming 3 Elders laughed. Huang Dong also smiled and said, I have something that I need the 3 of you to help me with. Help me eliminate a newcomer who has just arrived in the Heavenly Chaos Star area to establish his mansion. A newcomer? No problem. The Xianmiao 3 Elders readily agreed. The next day, Huang Dong led a large number of experts and the Xianming 3 Elders to the Hidden Dragon Planet. Hidden Dragon Planet, Dragon Emperor City. It was the newly built city. This was the name that Lu Ming came up with himself. Back in the Divine Wilderness continent, Lu Ming had founded the Dragon League and built a city called Dragon Emperor City. The reason why he named it that way was to commemorate his youthful days. Dragon Emperor City was very deserted now because Lu Ming had only brought a few hundred Nether Ape fighting tribe members. Hence, most of the places in the vast city were uninhabited. Only a few important places were guarded by the Nether Ape fighting tribe members. Lu Ming was bored to death, so he sparred with Chiu Moon to hone his origin source secret technique. Suddenly, Lu Ming looked into the distance. Interesting, Lu Ming muttered. With his current eyesight, he could directly see what was happening in the starry sky. At this moment, he saw a group of people rushing towards the Hidden Dragon Planet. They then rushed into the atmosphere and rushed towards the Dragon Emperor City. This group of people was naturally Huang Dong and the others. Something is happening. Chiu Moon, let's go and take a look, Lu Ming said to Chiu Moon. The 2 of them flashed and headed towards the city gate. Around the city, figures constantly rushed out and came to Lu Ming's side. They were all experts of the Nether Ape fighting tribe. Soon, hundreds of experts of the Nether Ape fighting tribe gathered around Lu Ming. They came to the city gate. At this moment, Huang Dong had already appeared outside the Dragon Emperor city with his experts. "Destroy this city!" Huang Dong's eyes were cold as he gave the order. Bang bang, immediately, over 1,000 figures stepped forward, causing the space to tremble. These were thousands of experts in iron armor from various races. They had one thing in common, which was that they were all holding a dazzling golden saber in their hands. This was the Golden Saber Guards that Huang Dong had formed, an elite group under him. "Attack!" Huang Dong ordered. "Kill!" Thousands of Golden Saber Guards shouted and attacked at the same time. Their golden sabers slashed towards the Dragon Emperor city. All of a sudden, thousands of saber lights slashed towards the Imperial Dragon city. Each saber light was hundreds of thousands of miles long, as if it was going to split the Dragon Emperor city in half. "Courting death!" Beside Lu Ming, some Nether Ape fighting tribe members shouted coldly and were about to attack. "Don't attack first!" Lu Ming waved his hand and stopped the experts of the Nether Ape fighting tribe. Around the Dragon Emperor city, there was a large array set up by Blue Merchant. After a period of time, the large array had been set up. According to Blue Merchant, it was enough to block the attack of a first-layer Divine Lord. These people were dreaming if they wanted to destroy the Dragon Emperor city. Besides, Lu Ming also wanted to see how powerful the soldier's mansion in the Heaven Chaos Star Zone was so that he could have a better idea. Chapter 33-38. Lu Ming did not let the experts of the Dark Ape Battle Tribe attack. He wanted to see how strong the soldier's mansion was. Finally, over 1,000 golden saber rays landed on the Dragon Emperor city. At this moment, runes appeared on the walls of the Imperial Dragon city. Countless runes intertwined and formed a large array. A transparent light shield covered the entire Imperial Dragon city. Boom! Boom! Deafening explosions could be heard as the thousands of saber lights slashed onto the transparent light barrier. However, the light barrier only trembled slightly. As for the saber lights, they all shattered and disappeared. "So, you've set up a large array?" Huang Dong's face stiffened. He then snorted. "Do you think you can stop me with a large array? All of you attack!" Huang Dong waved his hand and more experts stepped out and came to the side of the city wall. This time, Huang Dong also brought more than 10,000 people. All of them were his elite subordinates. They were a gathering of experts. Now, he had sent out 5,000 people. "Break!" The 5,000 people shouted and attacked at the same time. Most of them were high-level heavenly gods. 10 to 20% of them were divine kings. Although the heavenly chaos starfield was also a starfield like the Qin Tian starfield, there was a world of difference in strength. The heaven chaos starfield was bigger than the Qin Tian starfield, and this was one aspect. The main reason was that the cultivation conditions in the heavenly chaos starfield were much better than the Qin Tian starfield. It was rich in resources and rich in resources. Cultivators could not do without resources. With rich resources, it was natural that more experts could be nurtured. In the Qin Tian starfield, the strongest expert was in the 4th layer of the Divine King realm. However, in the Heavenly Chaos starfield, there were many 4th layer of the Divine King realm. Just like Huang Dong, the soldier's mansion had many Divine King realm experts. They could easily destroy the entire Chu Tian starfield or Qin Tian starfield. 5,000 people, 5,000 attacks, all landed on the large array outside the Imperial Dragon city. Violent booms broke out, stirring up monstrous waves. Boundless energy scattered in all directions. However, it was tranquil inside the Dragon Emperor city. There was no fluctuation at all. All of the attacks were blocked. "Again! Continue!" someone shouted. The 5,000 experts continued to attack. After a short while, the Imperial Dragon city was still safe and sound. On the other hand, the 5,000 experts were panting. "Damn it! All of you, attack together! I don't believe that we can't break this array!" Huang Dong roared. Even though they had not broken the Imperial Dragon city's array, he was more confident. He was certain that there were not many powerful figures around Lu Ming. Otherwise, why would Lu Ming stay in the city obediently and not dare to come out? If Lu Ming had a powerful cultivator by his side, he might have charged out directly. He thought that Lu Ming was afraid of them. That was why he hid in the city and relied on the array to resist, not daring to come out. As long as he could break this array, he would be able to destroy Lu Ming and his crew and obtain the treasures of the interstellar pirates, as well as Lu Ming's treasures. Boom! Boom! Huang 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 dong to huang dong. There were more than 20 experts in this group, and all of them were 7th-order God-King realm cultivators. 4 of them were in the 8th heaven God-King realm, and 17 were in the 7th heaven God-King realm. That was 80% of Huang Dong's subordinates. The moment these experts attacked, their momentum soared to the sky. The entire planet shook as their attacks rained down on the Imperial Dragon City. However, it was useless. When their attacks landed on the Imperial Dragon City's array, they could only cause it to shake slightly. They couldn't break it. They didn't believe it and continued to attack. However, the result was the same. After dozens of attacks, the Imperial Dragon City was safe and sound. Is this all you've got? You're too naive to think that you can kill me with this little bit of strength. What other trump cards do you have? Hurry up and use them. I don't have time to waste here with you, Lu Ming said indifferently. His disdainful voice spread far and wide. This brat. Huang Dong's face turned green when he heard Huang Dong's words. I'll have to trouble the 3 of you. Huang Dong cupped his fists at the 3 old men beside him. These 3 old men were the Xianming elders. Leave it to us, the bald old man who was the leader of the 3 Xianming elders said confidently. They flew out and appeared in the sky above the city. Boom! A terrifying aura erupted from their bodies. The terrifying low temperature caused the temperature between heaven and earth to plummet. Many of Huang Dong's subordinates shuddered and retreated quickly. They didn't dare to stay for fear of being frozen to death. Then, a giant sword appeared above the heads of the 3 Xianming elders. These giant swords seemed to be made of ice as they exuded an even more terrifying chill. Each of the giant swords was millions of miles long. Peak Divine Kings, 3 Peak Divine Kings. The strength of the military mansion isn't bad. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Slash! The 3 Xuanmiao elders shouted at the same time and slashed down with their giant swords. Boom! 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 The 3 giant swords slashed on the transparent light shield above the Imperial Dragon City, causing an earth-shattering explosion. The chill spread, but the transparent light shield only trembled a few times and didn't break. How is this possible? Even Peak Divine Kings can't break it. This array is too powerful. Huang Dong's subordinates were shocked. Huang Dong's face darkened. As for the 3 Xianming elders, their eyes turned solemn as they continued to attack. They used their trump cards and unleashed a barrage of attacks, but the formation remained unscathed. 3 Peak Divine Kings. Are these your trump cards? Do you have any stronger ones? Bring them out. Lu Ming continued. Kid, do you think you can be safe by hiding in a turtle shell? If you are so capable, you can hide in there forever. Huang Dong gritted his teeth. The more he looked at Lu Ming, the more he hated him. So, you really don't have any more trump cards? Now, it's my turn to strike, Lu Ming said. He then waved his hand and stepped into the void, flying out of the city. Autumn Moon and the Dark Ape fighting tribe followed behind him. In an instant, Lu Ming walked out of the array's range. Out. Huang Dong was taken aback. He didn't know why, but he suddenly had a bad feeling. He wasn't stupid. Lu Ming had seen the strength of his subordinates, but he still dared to walk out of the array. If he wasn't crazy, then he must have something to rely on. No matter how he looked at it, Lu Ming didn't look like someone who was crazy. You're out. Good, now die. One of the 3 Xianming elders shouted coldly as he slammed his palm down. A giant ice palm pressed down on Lu Ming, trying to kill Lu Ming. How dare you! Beside Lu Ming, an expert from the Dark Ape fighting tribe shouted. He rushed up to the sky and punched out. Boom! The giant ice palm exploded. The expert from the dark ape fighting tribe didn't stop. He rushed towards his opponent and punched out. Chapter 33-39. A peak divine king! The elder of the three Xianming elders exclaimed as he unleashed his full strength. Xianming Qi filled the air and condensed into an ice goshawk that pounced towards the dark ape fighting tribe expert. However, the ice goshawk was shattered into pieces as the fist radiance swept across it. Bam! The elder of the three Xianming elders shuddered as he retreated. Although they were both peak divine kings, there was still a huge gap between their strengths. Clearly, the elder of the three Xianming elders was no match for the dark ape fighting tribe expert. Third brother! The other two elders of the three Xianming elders exclaimed as they stared at the dark ape fighting tribe expert coldly. How dare you injure our third brother? Die! Having said that, they were about to join forces and attack the dark ape fighting tribe expert. But in the next moment, their bodies stopped abruptly. Then, their bodies began to tremble, and their faces were filled with horror. That was because a row of 9 dark ape fighting tribe experts had appeared in front of them. At that moment, the 9 dark ape fighting tribe experts exuded a terrifying aura. They were all peak divine kings. 9 peak divine kings! The leader of the three Xianming elders, the bald elder, stuttered. His face was pale and he was sweating profusely. The other 2 elders of the three Xianming elders were in a similar state. Who do you want to kill? One of the dark ape fighting tribe experts asked coldly. No. It's a misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. We have nothing to do with that brat. The bald elder pointed at Huang Dong and said, We have nothing to do with him. He tricked us into coming here. It's all a misunderstanding. We'll leave now. We'll leave immediately. After the bald elder finished speaking, he signaled the other 2 elders of the three Xianming elders with his eyes and was about to leave. You think you can come and go as you please? What do you think this is? Kill them! Lu Ming said coldly. Kill! The dark ape fighting tribe expert shouted as he attacked decisively. Terrifying attacks rained down on the three Xianming elders. The three Xianming elders were shocked as they tried their best to defend themselves. They formed a few hundred layers of ice around their bodies in an attempt to block the attacks of the dark ape fighting tribe. However, the attacks of the three Xianming elders shattered all their defenses. Their bodies flew out horizontally, coughing out large mouthfuls of blood. They were seriously injured. Cracks appeared on their bodies, and they were almost crushed to pieces. Spare our lives, we surrender, we are willing to submit to you, we are willing to do anything for you, spare our lives. Let us go, we will definitely be loyal to you. The three Xianming elders roared in fright, almost pissing their pants. They knew that if they didn't beg for mercy, only death would await them. Stop for a moment. At this time, Lu Ming spoke, and the Dark Ape Battle Tribe's experts stopped. Spare my life, young hero. No, sir, spare my life. The Xianming 3 elders knew that Lu Ming was the leader. They repeatedly begged Lu Ming for mercy and almost knelt down. At that moment, Huang Dong was completely dumbfounded. He never would have thought that Lu Ming actually had so many powerhouses by his side. The moment they came out, it was 9 peak divine kings. The Xianming elders, whom he had spent a great deal of effort to invite over, couldn't even withstand a single blow from these experts. They were beaten to the point of begging for mercy and surrendering. Fear, incomparable fear, surged into his heart. Run! At that moment, there was only one word in Huang Dong's mind: run away from this terrifying place. Let's go! Suddenly, Huang Dong roared, waking the people around him. He led his men and turned around, wishing that he could grow a few more wings. However, in front of them, a Dark Ape Battle Tribe member appeared out of nowhere and blocked their path. Let's attack together and defeat him! Huang Dong roared and unleashed all his strength. He wanted to join forces to defeat the Dark Ape Battle Tribe member and escape. However, in the next moment, the Dark Ape Battle Tribe member in front of them unleashed a terrifying aura. This aura was like the might of the heavens, like the universe, vast and boundless. It was as if an entire planet was pressing down on them. Over 10,000 experts were suppressed the moment they unleashed their aura. Many of them even spat out blood as their bodies trembled. Divine Lord, it's a Divine Lord! Beside Huangdong, an 8th-layer Divine King Elder screamed hysterically. His voice was filled with fear. The others were the same. Their eyes were wide open and filled with fear. Divine Lord! There was a Divine Lord by Lu Ming's side. It didn't matter how many of them there were in front of a Divine Lord. The difference in strength was too great, and they would be slaughtered. Huangdong's body began to tremble. His face was deathly pale, without a trace of blood. The Xianming elders were so scared that they almost peed their pants. Their bodies trembled even more violently. Previously, they thought that Lu Ming only had a few peaked divine kings around him. They didn't expect that there would be a divine lord. They regretted it so much. If they had known this would happen, they wouldn't have followed Huangdong. How unlucky! They wailed in their hearts. They could only hope that Lu Ming would let them go. Otherwise, they would be dead meat. Have you been allowed to leave? The Divine Lord asked coldly. Together with the Dark Ape Battle Tribe members' fangs, he looked extremely ferocious. Plop! Some of the more cowardly ones knelt in the air and begged. Spare our lives. Please spare our lives. We are willing to surrender to you. We are willing to be your slaves. Spare our lives. At least half of them begged. It's up to our mansion master whether to let you go or not. The Divine Lord Dark Ape Battle Tribe member said. Lu Ming had specifically instructed them not to call him Combat Ancestor outside. They were to call him Mansion Master. Then they looked at Lu Ming and begged Lu Ming. Do you really want to surrender to me? Lu Ming looked at the Xianming elders. Of course, of course. We sincerely want to surrender to the Mansion Master and serve the Mansion Master. The leader of the Xianming elders hurriedly said. Good. In that case, swear on your life origin that you will serve me wholeheartedly and never betray me. Lu Ming said. Swear on your life origin. The Xianming elders' faces turned pale. Normally, when the Army Mansion, General Mansion, Marquis Mansion, and even the Heavenly King Mansion recruited experts, they wouldn't swear on their life origin. This was because swearing on one's life origin wasn't a joke. Once an oath was made, one would never betray it. Ordinary people wouldn't swear on their life origin. If the mansions recruited people with such a requirement, no one would join. For example, Huangdong's subordinates wouldn't swear on their life origin when they joined Huangdong. But now, Lu Ming wanted them to swear on their life origin. This made them feel awkward. What? You don't want to? Lu Ming's expression turned cold. He said coldly, You have to be clear that I'm not the one begging you to join me and work for me. Instead, you're the one crying and begging to join me and work for me. Do you understand? Chapter 3340. It would be strange if they understood. The Xianming elders and many others roared in their hearts. If it weren't for the fact that their lives were in danger, who would be willing to submit to you and cry? If you have the ability, let us go. If you don't kill us, who would be willing to submit to you? Their hearts were filled with resentment, but they didn't dare to show it on their faces. You don't want to swear, right? Fine, kill all of you. Lu Ming waved his hand casually. Yes, I'm willing. We're willing. The Xianming elders were almost scared to death and hurriedly shouted. If they swore, then so be it. If they were killed, then there would be nothing left. Moreover, Lu Ming had many experts on his side. There were even Divine Lord experts. Following Lu Ming wouldn't be a waste. With so many experts on Lu Ming's side, it would be normal to upgrade to the general's residence in the future. Immediately, the Xianming elders swore on their life source to be loyal to Lu Ming. After swearing, the Xianming elders were considered Lu Ming's men. What about you? Lu Ming's sharp eyes swept over Huangdong and the others, causing them to turn pale. I'm willing to surrender. I'm also willing to surrender. Then, Huangdong's subordinates shouted one by one, swearing on their life source to be loyal to Lu Ming. After all, there weren't many who were truly loyal to Lu Ming. In the end, 8,000 people surrendered to Lu Ming. Only 2,000 people remained by Huang Dong's side. "It seems like you don't intend to surrender. Then I'll send you on your way," Lu Ming said coldly. "No, I'm not convinced." At this time, Huang Dong suddenly roared, staring at Lu Ming with bloodshot eyes. "You're just relying on your subordinates. If you have the ability, fight with me. Let's talk with our own strength." "You want to fight with me?" Lu Ming curled his lips and revealed a mocking expression. "You have the face to say that? You were in the last batch to join the Great Void Imperial Academy, and I was in the last batch. You have cultivated for so many years more than me, and you have the face to say that you want to fight me?" Huang Dong clenched his teeth and said, "So what if I'm from the previous batch? According to age, I'm still part of the younger generation. If you can defeat me, I'll surrender. I'll lead all my men to serve you and never betray you. However, if I win, you must let me go. You still haven't given up. You want to use this method to seek a way out for yourself. However, this method is too low level," Lu Ming said indifferently. Huang Dong's heart sank. If Lu Ming did not agree to his request, then he really had no other choice. Either he died, or he surrendered. "But," at this time, Lu Ming's tone changed, and he said, "If you want to fight, I don't care. I'll make you give up." After saying that, Lu Ming stepped forward. This time, even Huang Dong was stunned. He did not expect Lu Ming to agree to his request. "All right," Huang Dong quickly replied. He stepped forward and faced Lu Ming. In the autumn moon, the experts of the Dark Ape fighting tribe were calm. They knew how strong Lu Ming was. Huang Dong was asking for it. Boom! Huang Dong attacked, and a powerful aura burst out. Peak's sixth-layer Divine King realm. Moreover, his divine origin factor had awakened twice, so he was not weak. He turned into a flash of lightning and charged at Lu Ming. His palm was like a knife, aiming at Lu Ming's forehead. Lu Ming waved his hand and his palm collided with Huang Dong's palm. Bang! With a loud explosion, Huang Dong's body was pushed back. He felt his palm go numb, and it almost cracked. How can he be so strong? Huang Dong's heart was in turmoil. With just one move, he felt that Lu Ming was unfathomable. Impossible! He is just a new student. No matter how strong he is, there is a limit. I don't believe that he is stronger than me. Huang Dong roared in his heart. He was ranked 18th in the previous batch of students. He was extremely talented and had great confidence in himself. He did not believe that he was weaker than a new student of the Taishu Imperial Academy. Yellow Heaven's Holy Qi! Huang Dong roared. A yellow aura shot up into the sky like a divine knife and charged at Lu Ming. This was Huang Dong's secret art of origin. A strand of holy qi could turn into thousands of weapons. It was extremely powerful and could kill enemies from hundreds of millions of miles away. Huang Dong used all his strength in this move. He was determined to kill Lu Ming, or at least injure Lu Ming. The yellow blade light was very fast. In a flash, it was close to Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming was still only fighting with one hand. Lu Ming reached out his hand and grabbed at the yellow heaven's holy qi. In an instant, Lu Ming activated the battle incantation and quadrupled his combat strength. The divine power in his body surged. Bam! Lu Ming's hand accurately grabbed the yellow heaven's holy qi. The yellow heaven's holy qi kept vibrating, but it could not break Lu Ming's hand. How is this possible? Huang Dong roared in disbelief. The yellow heaven's holy qi was his secret art of origin. It was extremely powerful. Even a high-level divine artifact would be destroyed, let alone a physical body. However, Lu Ming had caught it with his hand. This was unbelievable. What happened next made his heart tremble. With a bang, the yellow heaven's holy qi was crushed by Lu Ming. It turned into yellow light and disappeared. Is this all you've got? I really don't know where you get your confidence from, Lu Ming said indifferently. He took a step forward and pressed down with one hand. A huge palm was formed and pressed down on Huang Dong like a divine mountain. Huang Dong roared and tried his best to resist, but it was useless. Lu Ming had activated the battle incantation and quadrupled his combat strength. In addition to his boundless divine power and the heavenly demon golden body, he was too powerful. Even though his cultivation was one level lower than Huang Dong's, he was still able to crush him. Boom! Huang Dong felt like a mountain was pressing down on him. He lay on the ground and vomited blood. No matter how hard he struggled, it was useless. Third awakening of the origin divine power? How is this possible? Huang Dong roared in disbelief. After the previous exchange, he could feel that Lu Ming's origin divine power had awakened for the third time. Third awakening at the fifth level of the King God realm was too shocking. Huang Dong's subordinates also sucked in a breath of cold air, extremely shocked. In their eyes, Huang Dong was already a peerless genius. He was still young, but he had already reached the sixth level of the King God realm. His origin divine power had awakened for the second time, and he had even comprehended the origin secret technique. With such talent, it was certain that he would become a divine emperor in the future. He wouldn't be an ordinary divine emperor, but an expert in the upper class of the Taishu dynasty. However, such a genius couldn't even withstand a single blow from Lu Ming. He was as weak as a baby. So powerful! The three Xianming elders were also shocked. They looked at each other and saw the surprise in each other's eyes. Yes, it was a surprise. Lu Ming's talent had exceeded their expectations. He was definitely a genius among geniuses. As long as such a genius didn't die, his future would be limitless. Following such a genius was not only harmless, but also beneficial. Previously, they were a little unwilling, but now, their reluctance had disappeared. Chapter 33-41. The Xianming elders even rejoiced in their hearts. Many of Huang Dong's subordinates also rejoiced in their hearts. Perhaps surrendering to Lu Ming was a good choice. Lu Ming was obviously much stronger than Huang Dong. Moreover, he had many experts under him. Surrendering to Huang Dong was obviously better than surrendering to Lu Ming. Surrender or not? Lu Ming said indifferently as he stared at Huang Dong. Huang Dong was a talent. If he surrendered, he wouldn't mind accepting him. If he was stubborn, he wouldn't mind killing him. I surrender, I surrender. In the end, Huang Dong shouted that he was willing to surrender. Although he was a little unwilling, he was a commoner. It wasn't easy for him to fight to this point. He was unwilling to surrender just like that. However, things had already come to this point. He had no choice but to surrender. If he didn't, he would die. Swear! Lu Ming said coldly. Huang Dong was helpless. In the end, he swore on his life origin that he would be loyal to Lu Ming. After Huang Dong surrendered, some of his more loyal subordinates naturally followed suit. All right, move your people to my city, Lu Ming ordered. After that, Huang Dong returned and moved all of his powerhouses into Dragon Emperor City. As a result, Dragon Emperor City became boisterous as a result. It was not as desolate as before. After that, Lu Ming divided Huang Dong's subordinates into groups and assigned them to the experts of the Nether 8 Battle Clan to lead them to exterminate the interstellar pirates. As for Lu Ming, he stayed in Dragon Emperor City to cultivate. In the center of Dragon Emperor City, a huge primordial statue stood tall, emitting a mysterious aura. This statue was naturally Lu Ming's statue. It had absorbed a large amount of God essence, and was incomparably mysterious. Blue Merchant had set up a formation around the primordial statue to block it. Otherwise, the fluctuations would have spread very far. Near the primordial statue, two figures were constantly fighting fiercely. It was Lu Ming and Wan Qin. The myriad gods had grasped countless origin secret techniques, and they also had the Gate of Gods. Sparring with Wan Qin was the best option. It would allow Lu Ming to deepen his understanding of the Gate of Gods. Every origin source secret art was not something that could be fully grasped just by awakening it. It needed to be constantly comprehended and excavated. Only then could more potential be unearthed, and the power of the origin source secret art would grow stronger. He needed to constantly comprehend it, day after day. Moreover, Wan Kun's strength was unfathomable. Lu Ming could completely let go and attack with all his strength. This was also very effective for his own tempering. Boom! Boom! Both of them unleashed their gates of domination. The two enormous gates of domination crisscrossed in the air and collided with each other. It was like two planets colliding, causing a violent explosion. 1. All of a sudden, the gate of the sovereign of the myriad gods trembled, and a pitch-black vortex appeared in the middle of it. Roar! A terrifying roar came from the vortex, like the roar of an ancient god. A terrifying wave of energy spread out from the vortex and bombarded Lu Ming's Gate of Gods. Lu Ming's Gate of Gods shook violently, and cracks appeared on it. Then, the entire Gate of Gods collapsed and exploded into dust. Danger, danger! Lu Ming felt a terrifying sense of danger from the Gate of Gods. His hair stood on end, and his body tensed up as he frantically retreated. Withdraw! The myriad gods whispered. With a wave of his hand, he withdrew the Gate of Gods. Only then did that sense of danger disappear. Lu Ming let out a long breath. Myriad gods, what was that? Lu Ming asked. I don't know either. I activated the Gate of Gods a little more, and that was it. The myriad gods scratched his head, a puzzled look on his face. How terrifying! Could it be that when the Gate of Gods is comprehended to a high level, such a change will occur? Lu Ming guessed. His current Gate of Gods was the kind that had just been awakened, and could only display some basic power. There was still a long way to go before it reached a high level. He speculated that when the Gate of Gods was comprehended to a high level, such a change would occur. Let me give it a try! At this time, Autumn Moon came up and sparred with the myriad gods. Now, Autumn Moon's cultivation had reached the 6th layer of the God-King realm. The effects of the sacred heart of 9 orifices were terrifying, allowing Autumn Moon to maintain a rapid progress. Following that, Chiu Yu and the myriad god clan began fighting again. By now, Autumn Moon had comprehended 2 origin secret techniques. Using them together with the god-killing ray, her strength was astonishing. After exchanging a few hundred moves with the myriad gods, she walked to the side and closed her eyes to meditate. Then, it was Lu Ming's turn to spar with the myriad gods. Lu Ming and Autumn Moon's cultivation speed was very fast. A few years passed in the blink of an eye. In these few years, Lu Ming and the others had developed rapidly. The Dark Ape Battle Tribe led Huang Dong's subordinates to conquer the world and exterminate many interstellar pirates. Furthermore, another soldier's residence was defeated by them and surrendered to Lu Ming. Lu Ming accumulated more and more merits, and the number of subordinates under him also increased. The territories under his control also increased. Now Lu Ming controlled as many as 8 planets with life and 19 planets with resources. However, the merits he had accumulated were not enough to upgrade Lu Ming's residence. It would not be easy to upgrade it to a general's residence. Lu Ming's rapid expansion attracted the attention of the surrounding factions. The Wasteland Reclaimer General's residence was a powerful faction around Lu Ming. The Wasteland Reclaimer General's residence had been established for many years. The founder of the residence was many generations older than Lu Ming, and could be considered a senior figure. During this period, the Wasteland Reclaimer General's residence had been discussing Lu Ming's matter. In the distant Taishu sacred capital, the Grand Preceptor's residence was also plotting. In the Grand Preceptor's residence's meeting hall, the Grand Preceptor sat on a high seat and looked down. Where did Lu Ming set up his residence? How's the investigation? The Grand Preceptor asked, his voice full of murderous intent. It's been investigated. Lu Ming chose to set up his residence on the Heavenly Chaos planet, and is now entrenched on the Hidden Dragon planet. An old man with snow-white hair below him replied. The Hidden Dragon planet of the Heavenly Chaos planet. Very well, I want him to die without a burial place. The Grand Preceptor said coldly. Lord Grand Preceptor, we are being watched by many people now. We can't brazenly send people to kill Lu Ming. The white-haired old man bowed and said, I know that. The Grand Preceptor knocked on the table and said, As an important minister of the Taishu dynasty, the Grand Preceptor had great power. If he directly sent people to kill Lu Ming, it would cause panic in the other residences. After all, the Taishu dynasty was composed of two parts. One part was the core of the Taishu dynasty, and the other part was the various residences. If a core official of the Taishu Holy Dynasty could casually send someone to execute a clan residence, the other clans would definitely panic. They would be bitterly disappointed, and chaos would ensue. Unless that family mansion really committed a huge crime. Chapter 3342. After all, Lu Ming wasn't alone. He had already established his own faction. If Lu Ming didn't do anything wrong, the Grand Master would send someone to kill Lu Ming, which would cause panic in the other factions. His enemies would definitely attack him. By then, even the Grand Master would have to bear a lot of pressure. However, the Grand Master had already calmed down. He wasn't as crazy as when he first learned that Wu Fan had been killed. Aren't there many clan mansions around Lu Ming? These clan mansions are competing with each other and want to annex each other. I reckon that many of them want to attack Lu Ming. As long as we send people to assist these clan mansions secretly and eliminate Lu Ming, no one will suspect that I'm the culprit, the Grand Master said with killing intent. You're wise, Grand Master. The white-haired elder and a few others below him started to flatter him. Very well. Send someone to the Heavenly Chaos Galaxy. Remember, they have to act secretly. I want to hear that Lu Ming has been killed, the Grand Master ordered. The Wasteland Reclaimer's mansion in the Heavenly Chaos Galaxy was discussing something again. The upper echelons of the Wasteland Reclaimer's mansion were gathered. The person sitting at the top was the mansion lord of the Wasteland Reclaimer's mansion. He was known as the Wasteland Reclaimer General. The Wasteland Reclaimer General was a burly middle-aged man. He used to be a prodigy of the Taishu Royal Academy a long time ago. After a long time of hard work, he finally upgraded to a general's mansion. He controlled a territory and had many talents. General, the Hidden Dragon Hall is developing too quickly. They've already eliminated 7 interstellar pirates and destroyed 2 barracks. Their territory is close to ours. We have to be on guard, an important figure in the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion suggested. The Hidden Dragon Mansion was what they called Lu Ming and the others. That's right. The Hidden Dragon Mansion is very ambitious. They've been expanding rapidly since they were established. They have many experts under them. I heard that they have more than a dozen peak divine kings. They'll compete with us for resources sooner or later, another person said. Everyone looked at the Wasteland Reclaimer General, waiting for his answer. Yes, we have to be careful. I've heard that the Hidden Dragon Mansion Master is a peerless genius from the Great Void Imperial family's holy courtyard. He's ranked 3rd among the new batch of students. He has a group of experts from the Dark Ape Battle Tribe as his subordinates. Their strength is indeed shocking. We have to get rid of them first. How about this? Pass down my orders. We'll set out in 3 days and destroy the Hidden Dragon Hall, the Wasteland Reclaimer General ordered. At this moment, a burly man who looked like a guard walked in and bowed. Reporting to the General, there's someone outside who wishes to see you. Who is it? Asked the Wasteland Reclaimer General. I don't know. The other party didn't say anything. They only said that they could help the General get rid of his biggest problem, the guard replied. Solve the problem in your heart? Ha ha! The Wasteland Reclaimer General sneered and said, Let them in. I want to see who they are. Yes. The guard cupped his fists and left. Not long after, the guard brought in 3 black-robed men. What do you mean when you say that you're going to help me solve the problem in my heart? The Wasteland Reclaimer General stared at the 3 black-robed men as a powerful aura emanated from his body. However, the 3 black-robed men didn't move at all. The one in the middle said, The General must be thinking of eliminating Lu Ming, who is also the Hidden Dragon Hall. We can help the general to eliminate the Hidden Dragon Hall. Haha, so you're here for the Hidden Dragon Hall. What a joke. How can a mere Hidden Dragon Hall be my biggest problem? I can destroy it with a flip of my hand. The Wasteland Reclaimer General laughed. His voice was filled with disdain. So what if Lu Ming had many peak divine kings under his command? Could a peak divine king be compared to a divine lord? As for the Wasteland Reclaimer General, he had already reached the Divine Lord realm. Moreover, he wasn't the only Divine Lord in the Wasteland Reclaimer General's residence. There was another Divine Lord realm expert. 2 Divine Lord realm experts could eliminate a mere Lu Ming with a flip of their hand. The general better not underestimate Lu Ming. If you do, you'll suffer a great loss, the black-robed man in the middle said. You're saying that I can't deal with Lu Ming and need your help to deal with Lu Ming? The Wasteland Reclaimer General said coldly. You can say that, the black-robed man in the middle said. How arrogant. I'd like to see what you're capable of, the Wasteland Reclaimer General said coldly. After saying that, he gave a signal to his subordinates. Immediately, a burly man stepped forward. Let me try and see if you're capable or not. The burly man shouted coldly and unleashed a powerful aura. The burly man was also a peak divine king. He used all his strength to unleash a move that enveloped the 3 black-robed men. Get lost! One of the black-robed men at the side shouted coldly. With a wave of his sleeve, a terrifying force burst out. The burly man at the peak divine king groaned as though he had been hit by a divine mountain. His body flew backward and fell heavily on the ground as he vomited blood. A peak divine king was defeated in a single move. Divine Lord! The Wasteland Reclaimer General squinted his eyes. How is it? The black-robed man in the middle asked. There are strong and weak divine lords as well. Let me try, the Wasteland Reclaimer General said. As he spoke, the Wasteland Reclaimer General rushed forward and threw out a palm attack. Boom! The entire hall shook. A terrifying aura blasted toward the black-robed man in the middle like a mountain. The black-robed man in the middle stretched out a withered palm and met the Wasteland Reclaimer General's palm attack. Bam! Both of their palms collided and a terrifying shockwave erupted. Fortunately, both of their palms were restrained. Otherwise, the terrifying shockwave would have turned the hall into dust. Then, a figure retreated quickly. It was the Wasteland Reclaimer General. His tall and sturdy body retreated even faster than the speed at which he had pounced out and landed on his chair. One of his hands was behind his back, and it was trembling constantly. Green veins were bulging on it, and blood was seeping out. His eyes were filled with seriousness. How is it? The black-robed man in the middle asked again. Impressive. All right, let's work together then. Ha ha! The Wasteland Reclaimer General laughed. He speculated that these people must have extraordinary backgrounds. Otherwise, they wouldn't be so strong. But I'm really curious. Is Lu Ming worth all of you making such a big fuss about? The Wasteland Reclaimer General asked. Don't underestimate Lu Ming. Otherwise, you'll die a horrible death, the black-robed man in the middle said. Oh, when shall we make our move? The Wasteland Reclaimer General asked. Sooner rather than later. Make your move immediately. Also, you'd better not send too many people. Just send one person to lead the way to avoid attracting the attention of the other party, the black-robed man in the middle said. All right, I still have a Divine Lord expert under me. I'll send him to join forces with you, the Wasteland Reclaimer General said. Soon after, 4 figures left the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion silently and disappeared into the starry sky. Chapter 33-43. Lu Ming, Chiu Autumn Moon, and Wanxin were still cultivating under the primordial deity statue. On this day, Lu Ming suddenly received a voice transmission from Blue Merchant, saying that he had something important to discuss with him. Lu Ming immediately left to meet Blue Merchant. Lan Shu, why are you looking for me in such a hurry? Lu Ming asked. Look! Blue Merchant waved his hand and an image appeared in the sky. It was a starry sky, and in the next moment, A few figures appeared and disappeared in a flash. However, Lu Ming still saw a total of 4 people. "These people are here for us?" Lu Ming asked. "That's right." Blue Merchant nodded and said, "Since the incident with Wang Dong, I have set up some arrays on some scattered meteorites in the outer area of the hidden dragon star. These arrays can detect the situation in the starry sky. If anyone enters the range of the arrays, they will be detected. These people are very strong. I'm afraid they don't have good intentions. If they don't have good intentions, let's open the city gate and make sure they don't return." Lu Ming sneered. They immediately set up the array and evacuated the people near the city gate. Then, they gathered the experts of the Dark Ape fighting tribe and waited quietly. "They're here!" Soon Yuan Tsung said. This time, Yuan Tsung also came. Mainly because they didn't know how strong the opponents were, Lu Ming asked Yuan Tsung to stay by his side. It would be safer this way. Outside the starry sky, 4 streaks of light flashed. They were extremely fast, and in the next moment, the 4 streaks of light disappeared. Soon, 4 figures appeared outside the Dragon Imperial City. Among the 4, 3 of them were the 3 mysterious black-robed men. There was also a burly old man. He was another Divine Lord expert in the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion. His position was second only to the Wasteland Reclaimer General. His name was Mingzhe. "Kill them!" Mingzhe's eyes flashed with killing intent as he said in a low voice. "The 3 of you go in first. I'll hide in the dark just in case," the black-robed leader said. "All right." Mingzhe nodded as they flashed towards Dragon Emperor City. The black-robed leader's figure flashed and disappeared in the air. Of course, Lu Ming didn't activate the grand formation of Dragon Emperor City on purpose. Therefore, Mingzhe and the 2 people in black robes entered the city smoothly. "No one?" When they entered the city, they scanned the area with their spiritual senses and found that there was no one around. "One!" Suddenly, dense runes appeared around Mingzhe and the 2 black-robed men. Countless runes intertwined to form a huge array. The great formation enveloped them, condensing streaks of sword light, slashing towards them. This was a formation that Blue Merchant had set up long ago. "Oh no, we've been tricked!" one of the black-robed men shouted. There was no one here, only a formation. Needless to say, they understood that they had fallen into a trap. They had been exposed. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, the array condensed countless sword lights and attacked Mingzhe and the other 2. "It's just a big formation. Just break it!" Mingzhe shouted as a terrifying aura burst out. He brandished a huge saber and slashed out violently. The saber light burst out and shattered the sword lights. The 2 black-robed men also made their move. They were also very powerful. Both of them had the cultivation of Divine Lord Realm. They held a black battle sword in their hands and slashed out terrifying black sword light, destroying the sword light of the array. The 3 Divine Lords were very powerful. The great formation couldn't trap them at all. They quickly rushed out. At this moment, Lu Ming arrived with a group of people and appeared not far away. "Lu Ming!" The 2 black-robed men shot out cold killing intent from their eyes. The purpose of their trip was Lu Ming. "Who are you? What are you doing here? You'd better be honest and I can leave you with a complete corpse," Lu Ming shouted coldly. "You must be the master of Hidden Dragon Hall. What a boastful tone. Do you think a mere formation can trap us? Naive. Break it!" Mingzhe roared as his aura became violent. He slashed out with his saber, as though he was going to split the sky in half. The sword lights formed by the formation kept exploding. Swoosh! Mingzhe and his saber became one and turned into a dazzling saber light. It broke through the sword lights and rushed out of the great formation. "Die, brat!" Mingzhe's face was ferocious as he charged toward Lu Ming. He slashed out with his saber at Lu Ming. A Divine Lord Realm expert was too terrifying. He could split an ordinary planet in half with a single slash, let alone a human. If the saber hit, Lu Ming wouldn't even be left of him. Unfortunately, Mingzhe couldn't hit him. "Kill!" one of the Dark Ape fighting tribe members shouted as he stepped out. A metal rod appeared in his hand and he swung it, causing the air to explode. Clang! The metal rod and the saber collided and there was a loud explosion. A beam of light shot up into the sky and into the depths of the starry sky, causing a few meteorites to explode. Then, Ming's body shook violently and he retreated. However, the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe member only took a few steps back. A Divine Lord Realm Expert! Mingzhi exclaimed as his eyes turned solemn. No wonder the three black-robed men said that Lu Ming wasn't easy to deal with. It turned out that he had a Divine Lord Realm Expert by his side. So what if he has a Divine Lord Realm Expert? Kill him! Mingzhi shouted as he became one with his saber and charged forward again. The Dark Ape Fighting Tribe member shouted as his body began to swell. He used the unique Ghost Battle Art of the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe. After using the Ghost Battle Art, the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe member's strength increased tremendously. He swung his rod and the void shook violently. Bam! Mingzhi's body was sent flying like a rubber ball. Kill! The Dark Ape Fighting Tribe member continued to charge toward Mingzhi. This is a good chance. Kill! At that moment, the two black-robed men rushed out of the great formation and turned into two black sword lights. They charged toward Lu Ming at an extremely fast speed. However, two more Dark Ape Fighting Tribe members beside Lu Ming stood out and blocked the two black-robed men with their fists. Another Divine Lord! Two Divine Lords! The two black-robed men were shocked. They didn't expect Lu Ming to have so many Divine Lords by his side. They had expected that even if Lu Ming had Divine Lords by his side, there wouldn't be too many of them. Kill! The two Divine Lords of the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe shouted as they charged toward the two black-robed men and unleashed a storm of attacks. The two black-robed men were extremely powerful. Even though the two Dark Ape Fighting Tribe members had used their Ghost Battle Art, they couldn't do anything to them and the battle ended in a draw. Lan Shu, can you tell what kind of secret skill they are using and who sent them? Lu Ming asked Blue Merchant through voice transmission. Lan Shang shook his head and said, They used assassination techniques so I couldn't see their origins. These people must have been secretly raised. To be able to send out several Divine Lord Realm assassins, it must be those people from the Holy Capital. Lu Ming nodded. At that moment, Mingzhi was completely at a disadvantage. He was in imminent danger. Damn it! Mingzhi shouted in his heart. He wanted to retreat and escape. Chapter 33-44. Mingzhi had the intention to retreat and escape. With a roar, he unleashed all of his strength and used his strongest move to block the attack of the Dark Ape Battle Tribe warrior. Then, he took the opportunity to retreat frantically, turned around and ran. But in the next moment, his body stiffened and his pupils shrank. He didn't know when, but another burly nether ape had appeared in front of him. Get out of my way! Mingzhi shouted. His face was ferocious. He unleashed his full strength, wanting to kill his way out. But he lost all hope immediately. Boom! The Dark Ape Fighting Tribe expert exuded a terrifying aura that swept across the starry sky. He was also a Divine Emperor. Ah, damn it! Mingzhi roared in despair. He couldn't imagine how there could be so many Divine Emperors in the soldier's mansion. Kill! The elites of the Nether Ape Battle Tribe launched a barrage of attacks. The Dark Ape Fighting Tribe expert had also arrived. The two Divine Emperors of the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe joined forces, and their power was too terrifying. Mingzhi tried his best to defend, but it was useless. After a few moves, Mingzhi let out a blood-curdling scream. His body had been blasted apart by a huge fist, exploding into pieces. His soul tried to escape, but it was caught by another Dark Ape Battle Clan warrior. However, he didn't destroy Mingzhi's soul for the time being because Lu Ming still had something to ask. The two black-robed men and the two Divine Emperors of the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe were locked in a fierce battle. They had already exchanged nearly 100 moves. The two black-robed men were indeed powerful. They were able to fight evenly with the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe expert who had used the Ghost Battle Art. Swoosh! Suddenly, a sword light shot out from the top of Lu Ming's head. The sword light was as fast as lightning. It was unimaginably fast. It was like a fairy flying from the heavens and pierced towards Lu Ming's glabella. The terrifying sword light enveloped Lu Ming. Lu Ming couldn't even move. The third black-robed man had made his move. He was the leader of the 3 black-robed men and was stronger than the other 2 black-robed men. Second-level Divine Emperor. Divine Lord Realm, the gap between each level was even greater. The difference between each level of the God King realm was huge. A higher-level cultivator could easily kill a lower-level cultivator. And the disparity between each level of the Divine Lord realm was even greater than that of a Divine King. The difference of a single level was like the difference between heaven and earth. This black-robed person who took action was a second-level Divine Lord. Such horrifying strength, in addition to hiding in the dark, suddenly attacking Lu Ming was simply a sure kill strike. Forget about Lu Ming, even a first-level Divine Lord powerhouse would also die without a doubt. Even a second-level Divine Lord would be in danger. However, the corners of Lu Ming's mouth curled up into a sneer, not panicking at all. This was because he had expected this to happen. Previously, through the formation that Blue Merchant had set up, he had already seen that there were 4 people on the other side. They were Mingzhe and 3 black-robed men. After that, only Mingzhe and 2 people in black robe rushed into Dragon Emperor City. Needless to say, one more person in black robe was lurking in the dark. Therefore, Lu Ming was long prepared. The sword light's speed was astonishingly fast, arriving in an instant. It looked like it was about to stab between Lu Ming's brows. Die! That black-robed person's eyes revealed a savage and excited glint, as if he already saw Lu Ming dying under his sword. As long as he killed Lu Ming, the state preceptor would definitely reward him handsomely. But at this time, Lu Ming's side suddenly extended 2 fingers, clamping at the sword light. Clang! The sword light trembled and was directly fixed, being clamped by 2 fingers, unable to move at all. Not good! The black-robed person leader's heart shook wildly, simply inconceivable. His sure-kill sword was actually blocked. Furthermore, it was even clamped by 2 fingers. How was this possible? He was a second-level Divine Lord powerhouse. What kind of existence was it, to be able to clamp his sure-kill sword with 2 fingers? Thinking up to here, his heart trembled, cold sweat flowing all over his body. Retreat! At this moment, there was only one word in his heart: retreat. Because an existence who could clamp his sword light with 2 fingers was absolutely not what he could deal with. He was extremely decisive. With a thought, he let go of the long sword and his figure retreated explosively. But it was already too late. The person who clamped the black-robed person leader with 2 fingers was naturally the Dark 8 Battle Race's Grand Elder, Yuan Kong. Still want to leave now? Naive! Yuan Tsung's cold voice sounded. Following that, his fingers trembled, and a terrifying power burst forth, surging into the battle sword. Immediately, the battle sword hummed and vibrated non-stop, then turned into a sword light, flying forward at a terrifying speed. Its speed was much faster than the black-robed person leader's explosively retreating speed. In an instant, it caught up with the black-robed person leader. Not good! The black-robed person leader's heart shook wildly. With a furious roar, he attacked with all his might. The sword light that filled the sky formed a huge wheel of sword chi, spinning continuously in front of him, wanting to block the sword light that was coming at him. But, puff! The sword light flashed, and the wheel of sword chi instantly collapsed. The sword light pierced through the black-robed person leader's glabella. The black-robed person leader's eyes opened wide. Unfortunately, there was no longer any trace of life, completely fallen. He was killed in one move. So strong! Lu Ming exclaimed in his heart. Yuan Tsung's strength was unfathomable. Ever since he had followed him out, he had easily defeated the black-robed person several times. Lu Ming could not figure out Yuan Tsung's strength at all. However, one thing was for sure: Yuan Tsung's strength was absolutely astonishing. Lu Ming speculated that the overall strength of the Dark Ape battle race was definitely not below that of the 9-extinction Heavenly King Palace. As the Grand Elder of the Dark Ape battle race, Yuan Song's strength was second only to the tribe leader of the Dark Ape battle race, Yuan Huan. One could imagine how terrifying his strength was. The black-robed person leader's death shocked the other two black-robed people. They did not dare to continue fighting and wanted to escape. However, under such circumstances, how could they escape? Bam! Yuan Song stepped out, stretched out a palm, and pressed forward. Rumble! A huge black palm covered the sky, pressing down on the two black-robed people. The two black-robed people tried their best to resist, but the result was that their bodies shook violently, and they vomited blood. They were severely injured and had no strength to resist. They were surrounded by the elites of the Dark Ape battle race. Speak! Who sent you? Lu Ming stared at the two black-robed people and asked coldly. If you want to kill us, then kill us. It's impossible for you to get information from us. One of the black-robed people replied, as if he was unafraid of death. Aren't you afraid of death? Lu Ming asked. What's there to be afraid of? The two black-robed people replied. All right, then I'll send you on your way. Lu Ming said coldly. With a wave of his hand, a divine lord from the Dark Ape battle race stepped forward and punched out. One of the black-robed people exploded and died on the spot. He only killed one of them, but left the other one alive. Are you going to speak now? If you speak, I'll let you live, Lu Ming said. However, the remaining black-robed person was not afraid at all. He looked coldly at Lu Ming, without the slightest fear. Chapter 33:45. Lu Ming felt a headache coming on. One look and he knew that these people were specially trained to be sacrificial warriors and assassins. Lu Ming had met such people more than once along the way. These people weren't afraid of death at all. It was almost impossible to get information from them. Moreover, there was a restriction placed in their souls. Once their souls were searched, the restriction would be activated and destroy their souls. It was impossible to search their souls. I'll talk. At this moment, another voice was heard. It was Mingzhe's voice. Mingzhe was left with a wisp of soul in the hands of an expert from the Dark Ape fighting tribe. At the Divine Lord realm, one's soul was extremely powerful. Even if one's physical body was destroyed, one's soul could find a chance to be reborn. At this moment, he was scared to death, and he naturally shouted. Lu Ming was overjoyed. However, he didn't show it on his face. He said, Tell me, who sent you? If I tell you, you have to promise not to kill me, Mingzhe said. All right, as long as you tell me, I won't kill you, Lu Ming said. No, I don't trust verbal promises. You have to swear on your life origin and I'll let you go, Mingzhe shouted. You still dare to talk terms with me at this moment. Kill him. Lu Ming's face turned cold. He waved his hand at the expert from the Dark Ape fighting tribe. No, don't, Mingzhe screamed in fear. His soul trembled and he almost collapsed. Tell me, Lu Ming said indifferently. I'm from the general's mansion. The general wants to kill you, Mingzhe shouted. He didn't dare to hide anything as he was afraid that he would be crushed. General's mansion. Lu Ming's eyes flashed coldly. He had heard of the general's mansion before. It was near the Hidden Dragon Mansion. Obviously, the other party was afraid of him. That was why they sent someone to kill him. However, how could a mere wasteland reclamation general have so many experts? What about them? Don't tell me they're also from the general's mansion. Lu Ming looked at the black-robed man. They're not from the general's mansion, Mingzhe said quickly. Then where are they from? Who sent him? Lu Ming asked. I don't know about that, Mingzhe said. As he spoke, he saw Lu Ming's face darken. He quickly shouted, I really don't know. You have to believe me. They went to the Wasteland Reclaimer General and said that they would help him kill you. As for their identity and origin, even the Wasteland Reclaimer General doesn't know. What I said is true, Mingzhi shouted. He was afraid that Lu Ming would kill him out of anger. Lu Ming frowned. He felt that what Mingzhi said was true. Humph, they sent people to kill me openly, but they were afraid that it would cause panic in the other mansions. That's why they secretly sent people to assist the other mansions in killing me. This way, no one would say anything. Lu Ming sneered, easily guessing the other party's plan. Is it the crown prince or the state preceptor? Lu Ming's mind raced. Because these two people were the most suspicious. Of course, the other forces couldn't help but suspect them as well. For example, the 9 Serenity's Heavenly King residents, the Lan family, the War God clan, etc. Kill him. Lu Ming transmitted his voice to one of the Dark Ape Combat Tribe members. The Dark Ape Combat Tribe member nodded and released his divine force. A destructive force surged towards Mingzhi's soul. Ah! You! Mingzhi screamed in horror, but in the next moment, his soul exploded and turned into ashes. Then, Lu Ming looked at the last black-robed man and fell into deep thought. He was thinking about how to get some information from the other party. Let me search his soul. At this moment, Yuan Song spoke. I guess there's a seal in his soul, Lu Ming said. Yuan Song nodded and said, We can only try our best. We'll get as much information as we can. In the end, Lu Ming nodded. This was the only way. Perhaps, with Yuan Song's unfathomable cultivation, he could get some information. Yuan Song walked over and waved his hand. A powerful force shrouded the last black-robed man. The black-robed man's body kept exploding and blood splattered everywhere. His cultivation was completely destroyed. With his cultivation destroyed, his resistance to the soul search was weaker. Then, ghostly chi spread out from Yuan Song's body and shrouded the black-robed man in it. Yuan Song began to search his soul. Ah! In the next moment, the black-robed man screamed. Runes appeared in between his eyebrows. His head expanded as if it was going to explode. There was indeed a seal in his soul. Once his soul was searched, it would self-destruct. Suppress him. Yuan Song shouted. His divine force surged, trying to suppress the seal. A dazzling light shone between the two of them. In the next moment, there was a loud bang. The black-robed man's head exploded. He had died. The restrictive spell had activated. Senior Yuan Song, did you get any clues? Lu Ming asked. There was a glimmer of hope in his heart. I only got a fragment, but I already know who sent him. Yuan Song said. Who is it? Lu Ming quickly asked. The Grand Preceptor of the Taishu dynasty. Yuan Song said. It's him. Lu Ming's eyes shone with a cold light. It was obvious that the Grand Preceptor believed that Wu Fan had died at the hands of Lu Ming. He wanted to avenge Wu Fan and kill Lu Ming. Old man, one day, I will take your head with my own hands, Lu Ming said in his heart. Also, the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion can no longer exist. A cold light flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. After cleaning up the battlefield, Lu Ming led Yuan Song and a few Divine Lord Dark Ape Fighting Clan members toward the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion. The Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion occupied a vast territory that spanned across a few galaxies. Its territory was much larger than a general's mansion. Of course, Lu Ming did not need to attack them one by one. He went straight to the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion. At that moment, a banquet was being prepared in the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion. The banquet was to celebrate the destruction of the Hidden Dragon Mansion and the few black-robed men. The Wasteland Reclaimer General knew that the black-robed men must have a powerful background. Therefore, he wanted to take the opportunity to curry favor with them. The Wasteland Reclaimer General sat at the top, slowly sipping his wine as he waited for the good news. General, General! Suddenly, a guard rushed in. How is it? Is Mingzhi back? Hurry up and ask him to come in, the Wasteland Reclaimer General said. No, someone broke in. They broke through the defense line outside the planet and killed their way here, the guard said. What? The Wasteland Reclaimer General stood up from his seat and shouted. Who is it? Which faction is it? How many people are there? I don't know. There are only 5 of them, the guard said. 5? The Wasteland Reclaimer General's eyes flashed. He was surprised. He thought that the other generals had come to attack him. Let's go and have a look. The Wasteland Reclaimer General walked out. Boom! As soon as he flew up, he heard a terrifying explosion. The buildings around him exploded one after another. Screams of agony were heard as experts were killed one after another. Chapter 3346. The Wasteland Reclaimer General looked up and saw 5 figures standing high up in the sky. They were like gods of war, looking down. The 5 of them were Lu Ming, Yuan Song, and the other 3 divine lords. With the combat strength of the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion, how could the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion's defensive power stop them? They easily killed their way to the core of the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion. The Wasteland Reclaimer General soared into the sky, exuding a terrifying aura. His eyes were filled with anger as he stared at Lu Ming and the others. Who are you? Why are you attacking my Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion? The Wasteland Reclaimer General roared. The few Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion gave him a feeling of fear. If it wasn't for his fear of their strength, he would have attacked and killed Lu Ming and the others. You just sent someone to assassinate me not long ago. Why are you still asking me who I am? Lu Ming replied indifferently. You are Lu Ming from the Hidden Dragon Mansion? The Wasteland Reclaimer General exclaimed, his eyes filled with disbelief. He had sent Mingzhe. Mingzhe was the only divine lord in the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion other than him. The 3 black-robed men were even more unfathomable. They were definitely divine lords, and they weren't ordinary divine lords. With such a powerful force, wouldn't it be foolproof to assassinate Lu Ming? Why wasn't Lu Ming dead? Why was he here? The Wasteland Reclaimer General had a bad premonition in his heart. A chill shot up to his head. You finally remember? Let me tell you. I am here today to send you on your way, Lu Ming said coldly. Let's go. The Wasteland Reclaimer General turned around and left without hesitation. For Lu Ming to appear here, he knew that Mingzhe and the others were most likely dead. Mingzhe and the others were most likely dead, and Lu Ming had killed his way here. It was obvious that Lu Ming controlled a terrifying force that he couldn't deal with. Therefore, he turned around and left without hesitation. However, before he could fly far, he stopped. A figure had appeared in front of him, blocking his path of retreat. This figure was none other than Yuan Kong. His speed was shockingly fast, and he arrived before the Wasteland Reclaimer General despite moving later. Brat, I'll kill you! The Wasteland Reclaimer General went berserk. With a roar, he charged towards Lu Ming. However, 3 Dark Ape Battle Tribe members stepped out from Lu Ming's side, exuding a terrifying aura. The 3 Sir Gods struck at the same time, sending 3 huge fists towards the Wasteland Reclaimer General. The cultivation of the Wasteland Reclaimer General was also a first-level Divine Lord. His combat strength was slightly stronger than Mingzhe's, but it was still not enough to face the 3 Dark Ape Fighting Tribe experts. After one move, the Wasteland Reclaimer General cried out in pain. His arm exploded, and cracks appeared on his body as he continuously coughed up blood. He roared and wanted to rush out from behind, but Ape Song casually slapped him and sent him flying, causing his injuries to worsen. Spare me! Spare me! The Wasteland Reclaimer General was terrified, and he screamed crazily. Lu Ming's subordinates were too strong, especially Ape Kong. A casual slap from Ape Song was enough to suppress the Wasteland Reclaimer General. He knew that there was no way he could escape. If he forced himself, death would be the only way out. You want to kill me, and you ask me to spare you? What a joke! Lu Ming said coldly. Spare me, as long as you spare me, I'm willing to surrender and submit to you. I'll bring the entire Wasteland Reclaimer General's residence to you. The Wasteland Reclaimer General shouted. Bring the entire Wasteland Reclaimer General's residence to me? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He then waved his hand, signaling the Dark Ape Battle Tribe experts to stop. He was now in the period of development, and he was in need of manpower. It would be good if the Wasteland Reclaimer General surrendered. You can surrender if you want. Swear on your life origin that you will be loyal to me forever and never betray me, Lu Ming said coldly. Swear on your life origin. You're too much, the Wasteland Reclaimer General yelled. He was a divine lord. Once he swore on his life origin to be loyal to Lu Ming, he would be tied to Lu Ming for the rest of his life. It was hard for him to accept this. Oh, then go to hell, Lu Ming said indifferently. He was too lazy to talk nonsense with the Wasteland Reclaimer General. No, I agree, the Wasteland Reclaimer General yelled, almost scared to death. He originally wanted to negotiate with Lu Ming, but he didn't expect that Lu Ming would not play by the rules at all. He didn't give him a chance to negotiate at all. If he didn't agree, he would kill him. He was very sullen, but in the face of such a situation, he could only agree. Immediately, the Wasteland Reclaimer General swore on his life origin to be loyal to Lu Ming. Since the Wasteland Reclaimer General had submitted to Lu Ming, his subordinates naturally also submitted to Lu Ming, which meant that they were Lu Ming's men. Take a group of the strongest experts and follow me to the Hidden Dragon Star, Lu Ming ordered the Wasteland Reclaimer General. The Wasteland Reclaimer General naturally chose a group of elites and followed Lu Ming to the Hidden Dragon Star. A smile appeared on Lu Ming's face as he sighed in his heart. Finally, there were people that he could use. Previously, he had only brought a few hundred people from the Nether Ape fighting tribe. Although they were all experts, the number was too small. Although Huang Dong had submitted to him later, Huang Dong was only a soldier's mansion after all. The number of experts under him was limited. The only peak Divine King experts were the Xianming Three Elders. The number was still too small. As for the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion, it was a general's mansion with many experts under its command. There were actually more than 10 peak Divine King realm existences. In addition, there were even more high-tier Divine Kings. With this, the number of people under Lu Ming's command skyrocketed, and the number of experts had also increased. There were more people that he could use. In the next period of time, he would completely integrate the territory under the Wasteland Reclaimer General's mansion and control it in his hands. In the faraway Taishu sacred capital, in the Imperial Preceptor's mansion, the Imperial Preceptor was sitting high up in a large hall. Is there still no news from the assassin? The Imperial Preceptor asked with a gloomy face. The 3 Divine Lord Death Warriors that he had sent out were called the Assassins. Calculating the time, they should have returned long ago. However, they had yet to return and there was no news from them. This made the Imperial Preceptor feel uneasy, and he was in a bad mood. There is still no news. We have sent people to contact them, but there is no news at all, an old man replied. Damn it, what is going on? The Imperial Preceptor growled as the uneasiness in his heart grew. After thinking for a while, he said, Go to the Assassins and check their life spirit jade tokens. Remember, do it secretly and do not let anyone discover you. Come back as soon as possible. Yes. That old man cupped his fists and left the place in a flash. Lu Ming! The Imperial Preceptor growled as his eyes were filled with killing intent. You must have killed Fanner. If I don't kill you, how can I face Fanner? His voice was filled with killing intent, and it echoed in the hall. The Imperial Preceptor did not wait for long. Half a day later, the white-haired old man returned to the hall. Chapter 33-47. How is it? The Imperial Advisor asked as soon as the white-haired elder returned. The white-haired elder's expression was ugly as he cupped his fists and said, Imperial Advisor, the life spirit jade tablets of the 3 assassins have been shattered. What? The Imperial Advisor roared in disbelief. The shattering of the life spirit jade tablets meant that the 3 assassins had fallen. Those were 3 Divine Lord assassins, and there was even a second-level Divine Lord assassin among them. This was a terrifying force, yet all of them had fallen. What kind of experts were by Lu Ming's side? The imperial advisor's face was extremely gloomy. He knew that he had underestimated Lu Ming. Continue to send people. I don't believe that we can't kill that little bastard. The imperial advisor roared as his killing intent intensified. Imperial advisor, you can't! The white-haired elder quickly advised. Why? The imperial advisor asked with red eyes. Now, the Thousand Saints' old Heavenly King and the people from the Thousand Saints' Heavenly King residence, including the Second Prince's men, are watching us. If we send people to assassinate Lu Ming, they will easily find out. When that time comes, they will accuse the imperial advisor in front of the sacred emperor. Also, Lu Ming has the Dark Ape fighting tribe by his side. I suspect that there are many Divine Lord existences by Lu Ming's side. There might even be experts from the Thousand Saints' Heavenly King residence by Lu Ming's side. Now that the assassination has failed, the next one will be much more difficult. It won't be that easy, the white-haired elder explained. Then what better way do you have? We can't possibly let that little bastard get away scot-free. I've already said that Lu Ming must die. The imperial advisor said coldly. That kid must be killed, but there's no need to rush. The white-haired elder said. Oh? What do you have in mind? The imperial advisor said. He was an overlord after all. He slowly calmed down and knew that it wasn't wise to send people now. The last time he was impulsive, he had charged into the Great Void Imperial Academy. This matter was reported to the Sacred Emperor by the Second Prince, and he was severely punished. Now everyone was watching him. If he had any weakness that could be used against him, he would probably be punished even more severely. However, he would not be satisfied if he did not kill Lu Ming. Grand Master, isn't Lu Ming in the Heavenly Chaos Galaxy? That place is very close to the battlefield between the Taishu dynasty and the barbarian tribe. If Lu Ming wants to develop and upgrade the level of the clan mansion, it's not enough to just exterminate the interstellar pirates. Later on, he will definitely join the battlefield and kill the barbarian tribe. Only then will he be able to accumulate merits faster. As long as he goes to the battlefield and joins the army, wouldn't it be easy to kill him? The white-haired old man said. That makes sense. The imperial preceptor's eyes suddenly lit up. As long as Lu Ming joined the army and joined the battlefield, he had many ways to get rid of Lu Ming without leaving any traces behind. Then let that brat live for a while longer. As long as he enters the battlefield, he will die. The imperial master said coldly. The Hidden Dragon Mansion entered a period of stable development. Lu Ming continued to send people to fight and exterminate the interstellar pirates in the surrounding areas to accumulate merits. As for Lu Ming, he and Autumn Moon cultivated under the primordial idol. At the same time, Lu Ming also allowed those who contributed to the war to cultivate under the primordial idol. Those who cultivated under the primordial idol were all stunned by the effect of the primordial idol. The effect was simply too amazing. These people had never seen such an effective primordial idol. Naturally, the news that Lu Ming had a primordial deity statue with heaven-defying effects spread. Immediately, Lu Ming's subordinates worked even harder to kill the interstellar pirates. They wanted to obtain the opportunity to cultivate under the primordial idol. Comprehending divine power, understanding the origin divine power factor, and awakening origin secret skills were all things regardless of one's cultivation level. Even divine lords had to constantly comprehend and cultivate. The attraction of the primordial idol was naturally great. As for Wanshan, he did not accompany Lu Ming and the others to cultivate during this period. According to Wanshan himself, his cultivation level had reached a bottleneck. He needed to go out to fight and find an opportunity to break through to the Divine Lord realm. Hence, Wanshan followed the army to hunt the interstellar pirates. Just like that, time flew by. A few decades passed. In these years, Lu Ming's territory grew larger and larger. The number of experts under him also increased. Many of them heard that Lu Ming had a mysterious primordial idol and voluntarily came to join Lu Ming. Of course, those who wanted to join Lu Ming had to first enter the array set up by Blue Merchant and be tested. Those with ulterior motives were all chased out by Lu Ming. On this day, Lu Ming was cultivating when someone suddenly came to report that someone wanted to see Lu Ming. "Who is it?" Lu Ming asked. "It seems to be someone from Lord Flowing Wind's residence," the subordinate reported. Lord Flowing Wind's residence. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. In the entire Heaven Chaos Starfield, there was only one marquee residence, and that was the Lord Flowing Wind's residence. It was a residence that had developed for countless years and was extremely powerful. The marquee residence was second only to the Heavenly Monarch residence. The lord of the marquee residence was known as the Marquis. He was already a high-ranking member of the Taishu dynasty. His overall strength was extremely powerful. Some of the top marquee residences were comparable to some of the weaker Heavenly Monarch residences. For example, the top few marquee residences were not weaker than the 9 extinction Heavenly Monarch residence. They only lacked merit. Once they accumulated enough merit, they could be promoted to a new Heavenly Monarch residence. The Lord Flowing Wind's residence was naturally not as powerful, but it was not to be underestimated. Why did the Lord Flowing Wind's residence suddenly send someone to see him? "Let's go and have a look." Lu Ming walked outside and came to a large hall. This hall was specially used to receive guests. When Lu Ming arrived, he saw that a few people had already sat down. However, they were not sitting on the guest seats, but on the main seats. A middle-aged man in his 30s sat on the main seat. Beside him stood 2 old men. "You are Lu Ming, the Lord of the Hidden Dragon residence?" The middle-aged man sat on the main seat that belonged to Lu Ming. He looked down at Lu Ming and asked indifferently. "That's right." Lu Ming smiled casually and walked to a seat on the side and sat down. "How dare you!" An old man beside the middle-aged man shouted coldly. He stared at Lu Ming and said, "The young Marquis didn't ask you to sit, and you dare to sit? Who gave you the courage to do so?" Lu Ming smiled. He was speechless. This was his territory, the Hidden Dragon Star. The other party came here for no reason. Not only did he sit on the main seat, but he was also scolded when he sat down himself. Wasn't he feeling too good about himself? "This is my territory, the Hidden Dragon Star, not the Lord Flowing Wind's residence," Lu Ming replied indifferently. "So what? No matter where you are. How can your status be compared to the young Marquis? You're just the lord of a military residence. When you see the young Marquis, you must be respectful. Don't you understand?" The old man shouted angrily. Chapter 33:48. "You're willing to be a dog? I don't have the habit of doing that." Lu Ming was so angry that he laughed sarcastically. "You are courting death," the old man shouted angrily. His eyes were cold as he exuded a powerful aura. This was the aura of a divine sovereign. Whoosh! Whoosh! The elder had just released his aura when a few figures dashed in from outside the main hall and stood beside Lu Ming. They were the experts of the Dark Ape fighting tribe. "All right." At this moment, the middle-aged man in his 30s spoke. Then, the old man retracted his aura and stood behind the middle-aged man respectfully. "You're Lu Ming, right? All right, I'll get straight to the point. I'll tell you the purpose of my visit this time. You've developed very quickly during this period of time and occupied many resource planets. You can excavate and mine these resource planets." At this point, the middle-aged man paused for a moment. Lu Ming didn't say anything and waited for the middle-aged man to continue. "However, from now on, the Hidden Dragon Palace will have to pay tribute to the Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion every year. The specific amount has been listed. Take a look." The middle-aged man waved his hand and a jade talisman flew towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming reached out to take it, revealing a sarcastic smile at the corners of his mouth. It turned out that the middle-aged man was here to ask him to pay tribute. However, Lu Ming had no intention of paying tribute. He squeezed the jade talisman with his fingers, and with a bang, the jade talisman was crushed. Lu Ming didn't even look at it because he didn't need to. Seeing that Lu Ming didn't even look at the jade talisman, the middle-aged man's face turned gloomy. His eyes were filled with cold, killing intent as he said coldly, "Lu Ming, what do you mean by this?" "What I mean is simple. I have no intention of paying tribute to anyone. So, please leave." Lu Ming waved his hand and asked them to leave. "You don't want to pay tribute? He, Lu Ming, let me tell you. If you don't want to pay tribute to the Flowing Wind Marquis Mansion, then get out of the Heavenly Chaos Star region. There's no place for you here." The middle-aged man shouted with a ferocious expression. "No place for me? I'd like to see how you're going to make me lose my footing. Now scram!" Lu Ming coldly shouted. "Brat, you're courting death!" Beside the middle-aged man, the old man roared angrily. He took a step forward, causing the void to tremble violently. A violent aura erupted, causing the entire hall to tremble. A wave-like aura pressed down on Lu Ming, wanting to force Lu Ming to his knees. However, before his aura could touch Lu Ming, another aura rushed out from Lu Ming's side and blocked him. A powerhouse from the Dark Ape Battle Tribe appeared in front of Lu Ming. "How dare you resist? You deserve to die!" When the old man saw that his aura was blocked, he immediately became furious. His figure was like a big bird as he pounced towards Lu Ming. "Make him lie down," Lu Ming said calmly. "Yes." The Dark Ape Battle Tribe member revealed a ferocious expression, and the corners of his mouth curled into a sinister smile as he charged towards the old man. Boom! The two of them exchanged a blow, and violent energy waves spread out in all directions. However, another powerhouse from the Dark Ape Battle Tribe stepped out from Lu Ming's side and blocked the energy waves. "How dare you! Kill!" At this time, another old man behind the middle-aged man said coldly. He stepped out, and an extremely shocking aura erupted from him. This old man was also a divine lord. The middle-aged man had brought 2 divine lords with him, clearly wanting to intimidate Lu Ming. However, 2 divine lords were clearly not enough. "Let me!" Beside Lu Ming, a burly Dark Ape Fighting Tribe member walked out. He pressed his huge hand forward and a huge palm grabbed the elder's attack. The elder's attack was immediately dispersed by the huge palm. "Second-level Divine Lord!" the old man exclaimed, and his expression changed drastically. This time, the Dark Ape Battle Tribe member was a second-level Divine Lord. A second-level Divine Lord was much stronger than a first-level Divine Lord. Boom! The second-level Divine Lord Dark Ape Battle Tribe member stepped out, and the void shook violently as he launched an attack. "Stop! This is a misunderstanding!" the old man shouted, and he was afraid. He wanted to calm Lu Ming down and retreat first. However, Lu Ming sneered and could not be bothered with him. The second-level Divine Lord Dark Ape Battle Tribe member continued to attack. After a few moves, the old man could not hold on any longer. He was suppressed by the Dark Ape Battle Tribe member, and his body twitched as he lay on the ground, vomiting blood. And that old man who attacked first was also not much better. On the same level, he was forced back repeatedly. In the end, that second-level Divine Lord Powerhouse went up and suppressed him with one move, making him also lie on the ground, vomiting large mouthfuls of blood. The 2 old men were suppressed one after another, and they vomited blood as they lay on the ground. You! The middle-aged man trembled with anger as he glared at Lu Ming. At the same time, he was secretly shocked. He did not expect Lu Ming to have such powerful people around him. There were even second-level Divine Lords. "Now get down here!" Lu Ming stepped forward and walked toward the middle-aged man. "Lu Ming, you! How dare you! Do you know who I am? I am the son of Marquis Lu Feng, and Marquis Lu Feng is my father. How dare you touch me!" The middle-aged man shouted. "Get down here!" Lu Ming shouted coldly. His aura surged as he threw a palm at the middle-aged man. "Lu Ming, you are known as a peerless genius. You are ranked 3rd in the new batch of the Great Void Imperial Family Sacred Academy. I would like to see what you are capable of." The middle-aged man shouted angrily as his aura surged. His body was covered in a blue radiance that turned into a blue battle blade and slashed at Lu Ming. The middle-aged man was called Lu Feng Xiao. He was also a disciple of the Great Void Imperial Family Sacred Academy a few batches ago. He was also a peerless genius and was very powerful. Clang! The two of them exchanged blows. Lu Ming's body trembled as he took a step back. Peak of the 7th level Divine King Realm. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Haha, 3rd place? That's all there is to it. Kneel down. Lu Fengxiu's confidence was boosted when he saw Lu Ming take a step back. He continued to attack Lu Ming. That's all there is to it? Lu Ming's lips curled into a mocking smile. He had just casually thrown out a blow and didn't use much strength. Boom! At this moment, Lu Ming activated the Battle Character Sutra to increase his combat strength by 4 times. At the same time, the 11 types of divine force in his body surged out rapidly. Then, Lu Ming activated the Heavenly Demon Golden Body and threw a palm at Lu Fengxiu. Boom! Lu Ming's palm landed on the opponent's blue battle blade. There was a loud boom. Lu Fengxiu's blue battle blade vibrated continuously before it exploded with a bang. The violent force made Lu Fengxiu's body tremble violently as he took a few steps back. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Your strength! Lu Fengxiu exclaimed. Although he wasn't a peerless genius, he was at the peak of the 7th layer of the Divine King Realm. On the other hand, Lu Ming was only at the 5th layer of the Divine King Realm. Lu Fengxiu was 2 layers higher than Lu Ming. However, he was forced to take a few steps back by Lu Ming. Trash! Lu Ming said coldly as he continued to attack. Not long after, Lu Fengxiu and the other 2 old men fell to the ground and vomited blood like dead dogs. Chapter 33-49. Lu Fengxiu lay on the ground and vomited blood. He was severely injured. Damn it, damn it! Lu Fengxiu roared in his heart, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. However, he didn't dare to let Lu Ming see him, fearing that he would be killed by Lu Ming. Now get out of my sight! Lu Ming said coldly. Let's go, let's go! Lu Fengxiu struggled to get up as he gritted his teeth and walked out in humiliation. The 2 old men quickly followed him. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared. Battle Ancestor, are you going to let them go just like that? They might take revenge, one of the Dark Ape battle race said. It's fine. If they want to take revenge, let them come. Lu Ming smiled. He didn't care about the Flowing Wind Marquee Palace. If they wanted to take revenge, they could mess up the situation in the Heavenly Chaos Star region and take advantage of the situation. Lu Ming's days went back to normal as he focused on cultivating. In the Flowing Wind Marquee Palace, the Flowing Wind Marquee was sitting in a large hall. Father, you must take revenge for me. That Lu Ming is too arrogant. I only went to ask him for a tribute, and he beat me up like this. Lu Fengxiu cried as he complained. Bam! The Flowing Wind Marquee smashed the chair into pieces with his palm. Lu Ming, he thinks he can do whatever he wants just because he's talented. The Flowing Wind Marquee's face was dark as killing intent flashed in his eyes. Father, you must take revenge for me! Lu Fengxiu cried. Don't worry. The Hidden Dragon Palace doesn't need to exist anymore. Men! The Flowing Wind Marquee ordered. Instantly, a figure flashed out. Send men to destroy the Hidden Dragon Palace. The Flowing Wind Marquee ordered. Yes. The figure received the order. Just as he was about to leave and gather the experts to attack Lu Ming, a burly man who looked like a guard rushed into the main hall. Marquis, bad news! The bodyguard said anxiously. What happened? Why are you panicking? Marquis Flowing Wind asked coldly. My lord, I don't know what happened, but the 4 interstellar pirates of the Heavenly Chaos Starfield suddenly joined forces and attacked the mansions of the Taishu dynasty. They have already occupied one of the galaxies in the Lufeng Marquis residence. The guard reported. What? Marquis Flowing Wind was shocked as he stood up from his seat. The 4 great interstellar pirates teaming up. How is this possible? Why are they teaming up? Marquis Flowing Wind almost roared. There were countless interstellar pirates in the Heaven Chaos Starfield, but there were 4 groups of interstellar pirates who were known as the 4 Pirate Kings. They were the Green Hair Pirate Group, the 100 Beast Pirate Group, the Redbeard Pirate Group, and the Biggie Pirate Group. The 4 pirate groups dominated the Heavenly Chaos Star region and were extremely powerful. Even the Wind Marquee Mansion was wary of them. However, in the past, the 4 great interstellar pirate crews fought for themselves, each occupying a star sector. They had never cooperated before and would even attack each other to fight for territory and resources. Why would they join forces to attack them this time? Send out experts to defend with all your might. We must stop them! Marquis Flowing Wind shouted and gave the order. Faced with such a situation, he could no longer care about Lu Ming. He had to deal with the interstellar pirates first before dealing with Lu Ming. Not long after, a large number of experts from the Wind Marquee Mansion set off to the border. The Heavenly Chaos Starfield was already chaotic, and it had become even more chaotic during this period. The 4 great interstellar pirate crews had joined forces to attack the territories of the Taishu dynasty. For a time, the Heavenly Chaos Starfield was embroiled in chaotic battles. Lu Ming and the others were also paying attention to this matter. Fortunately, Lu Ming's territory was in the east of the Heavenly Chaos Starfield and was surrounded by other territories. The interstellar pirates would not be able to reach Lu Ming's territory for the time being, so Lu Ming's territory was relatively safe. On this day, Lu Ming gathered many experts for a meeting to discuss how to deal with the situation. At this time, the messenger from the Wind Marquee Mansion arrived at the Hidden Dragon Mansion and met with Lu Ming. The Wind Marquee Mansion has gathered all the territories in the Heavenly Chaos Starfield to gather at the Wind Marquee Mansion for a meeting. We will fight against the interstellar pirates together. This was the message brought by the messenger from the Wind Marquee Mansion. After the announcement, the messenger left. Gathering everyone at the Wind Marquee Mansion? Everyone was shocked. Mansion Lord, I don't think it's appropriate. You offended Lu Fengxiao last time. If you go to the Wind Marquee Mansion, you will be targeted, the Wasteland Reclaimer General suggested. Ever since he had joined Lu Ming, the Wasteland Reclaimer General had been thinking for Lu Ming. After all, they were now in the same boat. It's fine. I want to see what tricks they have up their sleeves. Lu Ming smiled. Moreover, the Taishu dynasty had a rule that the higher-level territories had the right to gather the lower-level territories to fight against the enemy. If he did not go, the enemy would have more reasons to target him. Gather everyone and set off, Lu Ming announced. Not long after, Lu Ming led a group of experts and set off for the Wind Marquee Mansion. When they arrived at the Wind Marquee Mansion, someone had arranged a place for them to stay for the time being. After all, they had to wait for the other territories to gather before they could discuss the details. Time flew, and half a month passed in the blink of an eye. At this time, someone came to inform Lu Ming and the others to discuss the matter. Lu Ming and the others followed the person who led the way. Not long after, they arrived at a huge open space. This open space was very spacious, and it was divided into different areas that represented different territories. Lu Ming and the others found the Hidden Dragon Mansion and sat down in that area. After that, more and more people came. They were all from the other territories, including the Army Mansion and the General's Mansion. There were at least 100 territories of different sizes. Every clan had brought a large number of experts with them. This area was instantly crowded with people. Relatively speaking, Lu Ming had brought the least number of people with him. The Wind Marquee is here! Suddenly, someone shouted. In the distance, a group of people flew over. There were many of them, and they looked majestic. The person leading the group was an old man who looked to be in his 60s. He was tall and sturdy, and his aura was like a mountain. He was the Wind Marquee, Wind Tiger. Beside Wind Tiger was a middle-aged man in his 30s. He was Wind Xiao. The people from the Wind Marquee Mansion landed in their exclusive area. That area was the highest location, and they could overlook everything. Greetings, Wind Marquee! Many people stood up and cupped their fists. Of course, Lu Ming sat there casually, and he had no intention of standing up. Please take a seat. The Wind Marquee waved his hand, and everyone sat down. At the same time, he glanced at Lu Ming, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. I'm sure everyone knows why I've gathered all of you here. The Wind Marquis paused for a while and said, The 4 pirate groups have joined forces to attack the territories of the Taishu dynasty. During this period, many territories have suffered. Chapter 3350. Hearing Flowing Wind Marquis's words, some people's faces darkened. These people had been attacked by the pirates recently, and had suffered heavy losses. Some of them had even been wiped out by the pirates. Only the survivors had managed to escape to the Flowing Wind Marquis Palace. This time, I've gathered everyone together to unite the forces of the clan palace and fight against the 4 pirate groups. Flowing Wind Marquis said loudly. We're willing to listen to your orders. We'll do our best. Instantly, many people agreed with Flowing Wind Marquis. Does anyone have a different opinion? Or is anyone unwilling to help? Flowing Wind Marquis glanced around. No one said a word. According to the rules of the Taishu dynasty, the higher-ranked palace had the right to mobilize the lower-ranked palace to fight together. Naturally, no one dared to object. Lu Ming didn't say anything either. Since there are no objections, this matter is settled. Now, I will distribute the tasks. The various prefectures must do their jobs well. Do your best to stop the attack of the pirates, and even destroy them. Flowing Wind Marquis said loudly. No one said anything. They were all waiting for Flowing Wind Marquis to continue. The next task allocation was the main point that everyone was concerned about. Flowing Wind Marquis started to assign the tasks. Soon, it was Lu Ming's turn. Hidden Dragon Palace, Meteor Palace, General Qian Yu's Palace. You guys are in charge of guarding the Flying Joy system, Flowing Wind Marquis said. What? Flying Joy system? That's where the Red-Beard pirates are attacking. Aren't you sending us to our deaths by sending us there? A middle-aged man yelled. He was the palace lord of the Meteor Palace. At the same time, the other palace lords yelled as well. There was a giant teleportation array in the Flying Joy system. That was where the Red-Beard pirates were attacking. As long as they could take over the Flying Joy system, they could use the teleportation array to send their troops to attack the other palaces. This was the main direction of attack of the Red-Beard pirates. With just a few of them guarding there, they were undoubtedly courting death. What? You have a problem with that? You don't want to do your best? Flowing Wind Marquis scolded as his face darkened. Haha, my hidden dragon mansion is located in the hinterland, far away from the Flying Joy Galaxy. What do you mean by sending my hidden dragon mansion to the Flying Joy Galaxy to stop the Red-Beard pirates? Lu Ming sneered. The hidden dragon hall was located in the hinterland, and it would take a long time for the pirate group to reach there. However, the Flowing Wind Marquis had sent the hidden dragon hall there. It was obvious that he was targeting Lu Ming and wanted to borrow the strength of the Red-Beard pirate group to eliminate him. Before Lu Ming could say anything, the Meteor Mansion's mansion master shouted. Marquis, I know I offended the young Marquis in the past, but you can't target me like this. You want me to go against the Red-Beard pirates? That's suicide. The mansion master of Meteor Mansion shouted. How dare you! The Flowing Wind Marquis scolded as a terrifying aura emanated from his body. Everyone felt as if a huge rock was pressing down on them. The chief of the Meteor Mansion was the first to bear the brunt of the attack. His expression changed drastically as he retreated continuously, almost spitting out blood. Are you saying that I'm abusing my power to avenge a personal grudge, deliberately targeting you and sending you there? The Flowing Wind Marquis said coldly. The mansion master of Meteor Mansion did not say anything, but his expression told everyone that this was what he was thinking. Let me tell you, I, the Flowing Wind Tiger, will do things according to the rules. I will never use my power to avenge a personal grudge. This time, to deal with the 4 pirate group, we need all the manners to work together to have a chance of winning. If everyone has their own agenda and does not want to contribute, how can we be a match for the 4 pirate group? All right, if anyone has any objections, we'll follow the rules. I'll report to the sacred dynasty and say that there are manners who are not willing to accept the assignment, the Flowing Wind Marquis said. The mansion master of Meteor Mansion's face turned ugly. Lu Ming sneered and did not say anything this time. The Flowing Wind Marquis was too hypocritical. Even if Lu Ming spoke, it would be useless, and he would be targeted for not respecting the rules. The Qianyu General's mansion will follow the Marquis's orders and do our best, the general of the Qianyu General's mansion hurriedly said. He was also sent to go with Lu Ming. All right, the tasks for each manners have been assigned. You can set off now and complete your tasks. Annihilate the 4 pirate group together, the Flowing Wind Marquis said loudly. Yes. Everyone accepted the order and left for the teleportation array, heading to the places that they were assigned to guard. Lu Ming also led a group of experts and left for the Flying Joy Galaxy. Not long after, all the manners left, leaving only the Flowing Wind Marquis mansion. Father, this is a smart move. Humph, the Hidden Dragon Mansion, the Meteor Mansion, all of them have to die for offending me. This time, we can borrow the strength of the Red-Beard pirate group to annihilate them. Lu Fengxiao sneered. My plan is not only to kill them. With the combined strength of the Hidden Dragon Mansion and the Meteor Mansion, if we were to fight to the death, we would still be able to block the Red-Beard Pirate Company for a couple of days. A couple of days would have passed by the time they are destroyed. We will take advantage of these days to destroy the big pirate company and break the 4 great pirate companies one by one. The Flowing Wind Marquis eyes shone with wisdom. Great, Father. This is great. Not only can we take the opportunity to annihilate the Hidden Dragon Mansion and the Meteor Mansion, but we can also use their strength to deal with the Red-Beard pirate group. This is killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm impressed, Lu Fengxiao said with admiration. Ha! The Flowing Wind Marquis laughed proudly. The Flying Joy Galaxy was located in the central region of the Heaven Chaos Starfield. There was a huge teleportation array here, which made it a battleground for military forces. The Red-Beard pirate group was not far away from this region. If they wanted to attack the various manors of the Taishu dynasty, they would have to seize the teleportation array first. Therefore, they would definitely attack this region. Not long later, Lu Ming, the Meteor Mansion, General Qianyu's mansion, and the rest of the 8 mansions arrived and landed on a meteorite outside the Fei Lu Galaxy. Everyone's here, right? Now, I'll announce your missions. General Qianyu swept his gaze across the group like a boss. Indeed, there was only 1 general's mansion among the 8 manors. In terms of rank, General Qianyu's mansion was the highest. Everyone looked at General Qianyu. You guys guard the planet on the left. General Qianyu pointed at the 2 manors, then at Lu Ming and the Meteor Mansion's mansion master. Both of you guard the planet in front. Remember, the teleportation array is on that planet. You must protect that planet even if you have to die. Do you understand? General Qianyu said. Hee hee. Lu Ming laughed sarcastically. What are you laughing at? General Qianyu glanced at Lu Ming coldly. You've given us all the dangerous missions. May I ask what mission you're going to take? Lu Ming asked. Chapter 3351. Facing Lu Ming's question, General Qianyu's eyes became even colder. Are you doubting me? General Qianyu said coldly. That's right. I am doubting you, Lu Ming said indifferently, not giving any face to General Qianyu. General Qianyu's face became even colder as he glanced at Lu Ming with a hint of killing intent. Let me tell you. What is the Qianyu General Residence doing? Our Qianyu General Residence is the strongest here. We should be in charge of the rear and control the situation. If one side can't hold on any longer, I will send reinforcements. Do you understand now? General Qianyu said coldly. Guard the rear? I think you're trying to preserve your strength so that you can retreat as soon as the situation goes south. Am I right? Lu Ming sneered. How dare you? You're slandering us. General Qianyu roared. Slandering? How about this? Let's exchange positions. I'll guard the rear and control the situation. It's the same, Lu Ming said. You. Hee. Controlling the situation requires the strongest strength. My Qianyu Prefecture is a general residence. You're just a soldier residence. How dare you compete with me? Do you think that your hidden dragon residence is stronger than my Qianyu general residence? General Qianyu said coldly. That's right. That's what I think. No. In fact, my hidden dragon residence is stronger than yours, Lu Ming said with a faint smile. Arrogant! Arrogant! General Qianyu shouted angrily. His face was ferocious and murderous. Since you've said so, I'll see how strong your hidden dragon residence is. Men, take him down! General Qianyu waved his hand. Immediately, a few men stepped out from behind him and walked towards Lu Ming while emitting powerful auras. There were 3 of them, and all of them were peak divine kings. You've repeatedly contradicted the general. Kneel down and admit your mistake. Kneel down! The 3 peak divine kings attacked Lu Ming. A terrifying pressure pressed down on Lu Ming. They wanted to force Lu Ming to his knees. However, Lu Ming was like a towering mountain, standing there motionlessly. Make them kneel! Lu Ming said coldly and waved his hand. Boom! One of the Dark Ape Battle Tribe members stepped forward and stretched out a palm. Immediately, a huge palm condensed out of thin air and pressed towards the 3 peak divine kings. Divine Lord! The 3 peak divine kings roared in fear. Then, with a plop, they could not resist at all. They were directly forced to kneel on the ground in front of Lu Ming. Divine Lord, you actually have a Divine Lord realm powerhouse. No wonder you're so gutsy, not placing me in your eyes. General Qianyu's pupils constricted, revealing a dignified expression. The expressions of the other palaces were grave as well. It was rare for a Divine Lord realm powerhouse to appear in a general's palace. Usually, only the general's palace would have a Divine Lord realm powerhouse. Of course, there were exceptions. Are there any stronger ones? Send them out, Lu Ming said lightly. Lu Ming, don't think that you can go against me just because you have a Divine Lord realm powerhouse. You're still too young. General Qianyu shouted coldly and stepped forward. A violent aura rushed out from his body. When he stepped out, an old man beside him stepped out as well. Similarly, a terrifying aura erupted from him. Divine Lord Realm. General Qianyu and the Elder were both Divine Lords. Apparently, General Qianyu also had 2 Divine Lords. This was comparable to General Wasteland Reclaimer's palace. You go and block that Divine Lord Realm powerhouse. Leave the rest to me. General Qianyu transmitted his voice to the Elder. The Elder nodded and continued to rush toward the Dark Ape Battle Clan cultivator. General Qianyu himself rushed towards Lu Ming. Young man, you'd better keep a low profile and be obedient. General Qianyu's eyes flashed coldly. His violent aura formed a storm and rushed towards Lu Ming. However, before the storm reached Lu Ming, an even more powerful aura rushed out from Lu Ming's side and destroyed General Qianyu's aura. It was another Dark Ape Battle Tribe powerhouse. A Divine Lord! Another Divine Lord! General Qianyu was shocked. He quickly retreated with a solemn face. The Elder from General Qianyu's palace was also shocked. He quickly retreated and did not dare to stay. There are 2 Divine Lords! The people from the other palaces were also shocked. They did not expect Lu Ming to have 2 Divine Lords with him. It was no wonder that he did not take General Qianyu seriously, and was not afraid of General Qianyu at all. Immediately, they were overjoyed. The stronger Lu Ming was, the higher their chances of resisting the Red-Beard pirates. How is my strength now? Lu Ming looked at General Qianyu emotionlessly. Humph! General Qianyu snorted and did not speak. Not talking? Hee, then I will guard the rear. How about that? Lu Ming continued. Wait a minute. Since you are so powerful, I think we can change our plan. General Qianyu said. How? Lu Ming asked. I did not know that you were so powerful before, so I misjudged you. Now that you are so powerful, we don't need to guard the rear. We can set up a defense on the planet with the teleportation array. With our strength, we can set up the array in advance and stop the Redbeard pirates for a while. Once the Marquis Mansion has dealt with the enemy, they will come to our aid. What do you think? General Qianyu said. He saw that Lu Ming had 2 divine lords with him, so he did not dare to be arrogant. No, I don't think this is a good idea. Lu Ming shook his head. Then what do you want to do? General Qianyu asked. To put it bluntly, the Marquis Mansion did not send us here with good intentions. They want to use the power of the Redbeard pirates to get rid of us, Lu Ming said. His words made the others' faces turn pale. They naturally knew what the Marquis Mansion was planning. But what could they do? Since that's the case, why should we risk our lives here? My plan is to wait for the Redbeard pirates to attack, then retreat and give this place to the Redbeard pirates, Lu Ming said with a smile. What? The others turned pale with fright. If they did not resist and retreated, wouldn't the Redbeard pirates be able to use the teleportation array to kill their way to the hinterland of the Heaven Chaos Star area? You! How dare you! You are defecting to the enemy. You are committing a capital offense, General Qianyu shouted. What do you mean by defecting to the enemy? As long as we destroy the 4 pirate groups, it will be a great achievement. How can I be guilty? Lu Ming sneered. Destroy the 4 pirate groups? Dream on! You lunatic! I'm going to report this to the Wind Marquis. Just wait for your punishment. General Qianyu shouted and was about to leave with his men to report to the Marquis Mansion. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.